Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praises, glory, and honor to the Most High, the owner, creator, and possessor of all things, the Most High Yahweh. Become so and do so in the name of his only begotten beloved Son, Hamashiach, the Holy Messiah, who's currently sitting at his right hand right now as we speak. Long live the King of Kings.
Long live the King.
Your brother Malachi Maccabee, honor, humility, STL, sect of the Nazarene, hobo, Hebrew, honor over brotherly oppression, folk tribe, static, attic, all of the above. To my left, I got my esteemed brethren.
Yoel Bon Judah reporting for duty.
Yoel Bon Judah reporting for duty. We got Yakinan Eliezer off in the cut too.
And we got the sniper on. We got the sniper on deck.
And y'all see the title, The Serpent's Seed, who was the father of Cain. You know, about to get into some origins of this doctrine, the serpent seed, where does it come from? And can it be substantiated with the scriptures? You feel me? And first and foremost, you feel me? Just as easy as because over here we profess that the Messiah's father is the Most High, Yah. You understand? That Joseph didn't bust one in Mary to produce the Messiah. That's what we believe that. We believe that wholeheartedly.
But that's like Joseph is not the father.
Yeah, and just as simple as we challenge those that believe he the father, like show us where Joseph begot the Messiah. There's nowhere to be found. Right? So for those, we're gonna flip it. For those that believe Satan or the serpent is the father of Cain, show us that the serpent fathered Cain, that the serpent begot Cain. You feel me? Like a lot of us like to hang one way with it and be like over here with the Messiah. But what about the doctrine of Cain's father is the devil, like the devil? That his mama had sex with Satan and she became pregnant with him and Adam at the same time. How about we deal with that? There's another doctrine that's out there in Israel. You feel me? But we're going to go into the origin of it and see if it can be substantiated. We got the Book of Jubilees. We got Jasher. We even got Josephus in the house today. The historian Flavius Josephus. The Israelite historian Josephus. You understand? We're going to share all that on the screen, too. First, we're going to hit an article over this partial government shutdown, how everybody spooked. And then we're going to get into this doctrine right here, the origin of it. And what does it mean to be a son or a child of the devil, right? Did Eve have sex with the Geico lizard? That's what you would have to be saying, that she had sex with the Geico lizard or another man. Something like what the serpent actually was another man. If that's your doctrine, you're saying that she laid with this man and then came back and laid with Adam, and she mysteriously got pregnant at the same time, and they were twins. Hence, when they were born, Cain ended up murdering Abel because he was the seed of the devil. You know what I'm saying? A child of the devil. We're going to get into the scriptures going to what does it mean to be a child of the devil. You feel me? And, you know, some of these doctrines have been taught for years, but never like fully addressed, like scrutinized. You should be willing to do that. What you seeking is purity. If what you seeking is, you understand, to be on one accord and all that, then whatever you believe, you should be willing to have that put on the table and heavily scrutinized. You feel me? And you should be able to defend it. You understand? And if not, it just got to come down. You got to repent. You feel me? I mean, you can explain to the people the reason why I was saying that was because of this scripture and this scripture, but further scriptures prove me wrong. You understand? And switch up. And that's what it's about, man. Humbling down and not teaching it no more. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Did Eve have sex with the Geico lizard? Is Cain the biological son of the devil or the serpent that was in the garden? You feel me? And where was Adam at when all this happened? The scriptures say he gave to her husband with her. Brothers ducked that one. Adam must have been the most weakest noodle back nigga in existence. Think about it, y'all. That's like you out to eat with your rib, and you get up and go to the bathroom, and another nigga come over there, and you come out the bathroom, and he whining, dining her. She laughing, putting his hand on his shoulder. You gonna be what? Jealous? No, Adam wasn't there. And it's all, and a doctrine gets taught based off, you feel me, a misdirection. That's what's happening out here. You feel me?
That.
Yeah, so we about to get into it. We're going to get into that, but first we're going to go ahead and pull up the article with Trump. Let me shout y'all out real quick. and let's get it done. You feel me? And if it's wrong, man. That's the problem. A lot of men scared to be called wrong. Like, dang, you know what? I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? Dang, you know what? Yep, that's off. You feel me? And if you got a track record of never standing down, then everybody else is not the problem. It's you. What you mean? You got the track record of not standing down. It ain't nobody else. It ain't nobody else's fault. And then studied and, you know, set you in the hot seat. You feel me? And I understand because when you start believing certain things, we become what we believe, man. It was understandable. All right, so let me shout some of y'all out before we get cracking up in here. Native Creation, shalom, shalom, fam, shalom. King Corp, shalom. Iris Steffens. Am I saying your name right? Is it Steffens or Stevens? Let me know. Iris Steffens, shalom, family. Chantel Prescott, shalom. Yeshua Eleazar, shalom, shalom. Naomi Dobbins, shalom, fam. Mama Maggie, shalom. Solomon McFadden, what it do, huh? Shalom. 12 Tribes Athlete. I got your email too. He's
12 Tribes Athlete. Yeah. What's up? Ashlow, bro. Shalom. I want to meet you, bro. 12 Tribes Athlete. I want to meet you, bro.
Right down in Texas. They got land and all that. He said, come on home.
Man.
Yeah, he said, come on home.
Hey, bro, I drive them trucks across that road, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be there quicker than you say.
Yeah. He sure will. He'll be knocking on your door.
Hey, I'll be there soon, bro. You'll probably see my face within 2 months, bro.
Yeah.
Most High willing. Yahweh rots out.
That's right. Hidden treasure. Shalom. Quashins, what it do, Hop? Shalom. Keith Jenkins. Chantel, I already said Chantel. Yak Ellie, he over there on the couch. Mama, you heard that teaching before? Yeah, that Satan is the biological father of Cain. That's out there, but we're going to address the scriptures. You feel me? And as simple as we put it on the brothers that believe Joseph is Christ's father. Show me where Joseph begot Christ. Well, show me that the serpent begot Cain. Gonna be kind of hard. You feel me? And I know it's a lot of brothers that still hold on to that I love dearly. You understand? That I actually love dearly. Still, fellowship with, come across each other, shoot the breeze, and what's that proving? Just because we got a difference in belief don't mean we're enemies. Right? You just got to rap, you feel me? And we got to wage war on that stronghold till it get brought down. Because it's the Most High to get an increase. Since when Nick Rose putting their own time limits on brothers converting?
Right.
It's the Most High to get an increase. One man water, one man plant. And it's the Most High to get an increase. You say, well, you know what they say after the second, third admonition. Well, how many times we done been over this topic? Off camera.
And folk done flip doctrine.
Yeah, how many times we done been over this? Off camera. So let's not front like everybody mysteriously, when you study it, believe the same thing. Because we all know better.
Right. We all come up out of different schools of thought.
That's right.
Let's not be simplistic, huh? Let's not be that way, man. Where you sit back and think like, okay, unless they believe everything that I believe, then they don't serve your God.
Yeah.
Man, what do we all talk about?
The vanity of men.
They got the basics, huh? At least they got the basics, bro. Huh? What is the basics, bro? Come on, let's be real simple, bro.
Real talk. Who else we got on her? Marinya, Shalom, Poppy. Okay, your name's not Sonia. What'd you say? It's Sonya. Like Tanya. Okay, okay. Poppy, Mina J.
Mina J.
Mina J in the building.
Mina J. I was waiting to hear that one. I was waiting to hear that, sister. Mina J.
Natasha Archie, that's my sister. Shalom. All right, I see y'all on here. It's all good. Laverne Cox, Shalom. We in the STL, man. We in St. Louis, Missouri, man. I don't like claiming Babylon, but it is what it is. Skinny Block. Look at Skinny Man. I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. All praise to the
Skinny Man.
Skinny Man.
All right, what up, Skinny Man?
Yeah, Woody P. It's going down on her. August Dreams. Y'all deep tonight.
We deep off of this deal, man.
Went on a Wednesday night. All right, we all good. We all good. All right, so look, this is what we're going to do, y'all. First, we're going to pull up this article about Donald Trump and this partial shutdown. Then we go get into this topic at hand. If we can be heard, go ahead and throw a 7 up in the chat. If we can be heard, throw a 7 up in the chat. We're about to go ahead and do us a screen share. And we're going to get it done, man. If y'all ever heard of this doctrine before, that the serpent in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, laid with Eve and produced Cain. And men can't act like this ain't a doctrine that's still believed in Israel. You can't act like it. You can't teach with nobody else if they don't believe what you believe. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. I hear you, man. You dig? And the whole thing is this, man. We willing to address any type of and dialogue. I was dialogue with a lot of brothers from different parts of the country today on WhatsApp. You feel me? I actually dropped a bomb up in one of their rooms and they got brothers talking, which is good. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is supposed to do. We should be willing to discuss these matters. It don't make us enemies. It make us we still brothers and sisters. And what's the worst? Look, you brothers are sitting down talking about the Bible at the end of the day. Men who usually would have been gang banging in the streets, you feel me? Or trying to sabotage you on Wall Street or try to pimp you in a pulpit, you dig? Men are actually sitting down and discussing this Bible, man. And so that's a beautiful thing when you're done talking, even if you end up parting and beliefs may still be a little different. Wage the war. I thought a fruit of the spirit was called long suffering. Ain't long suffering the fruit of the spirit? That means having patience when you're dealing with somebody. They may not believe what you're talking about right out the gate. You may have to bang on that stronghold for the next 5 years. You willing to wage war?
Hey, if I wasn't mistaken, we was always taught they gotta see your walk, huh? They gotta see your walk. So if they see your walk, what that mean, brother? That it takes time. It takes time. You know what I'm saying? This is a war we dealing with. War ain't over overnight. If you want to talk that, but somebody that got the basics right, they all good. But somebody that's a faggot, you feel me? Or that feel like they can shit pack or pack all that up in them, but him, oh, it's all good. You go hug him, love him. Huh?
It don't make no sense. You go to work and work with witches, sodomites, atheists, nihilists. You probably be on break with them, shooting the breeze. You live next door to pedophiles and people on the sex offenders list. But when it come down to an Israelite who actually keeps the commandments of the Most High
and got the basics right,
I'm talking about now he got to be heavily scrutinized. You ain't doing that with the people at your job. You ain't even doing that with the people in your family. Huh? Let's stop this imaginary hatred that's going on in Israel, man. It's a vibration of hate.
It is.
And I don't have time for it. Drain, man. We can take all that energy and focus on being righteous and doing something positive out here. You know what I'm saying? In the eyes of the Most High. All that time we spend hating. I know y'all head be hurting.
Yeah,
voice be lost, head be hurting. You be depressed, mad. Instead of madness. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Right. Why bros arguing all that, bro? That's why we are focusing on the will of the Most High and the work of the Most High. We're not focusing on all that other the madness that people pull out of they back hat. You feel me? War. I need something to argue about. I need something to be at division with, huh? And it 9 times out of 10 it's division with your brother, huh? You can't be at division with the world because you know you're supposed to fight the world. We know that's division. Why won't you fight that war instead of fighting your brother? You spend so much energy and time to go against thy brother that has the basics right, which we all know is the basics. If you read the Bible, the basics right, you will spend so much energy, time, and strength to defame and bring him down. You could have been using that same energy to holler at the people that don't even know squat, that got a Christmas tree just had in screaming Happy New Year.
Right, exactly.
That's what we focus on. The work. That's what we focus on, the work. And this is the work.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, man. All right, so look, let's get it done. I know a lot of y'all done heard about this government shutdown. That boy Trump, man, he acting like, look, if he's not a puppet, you feel me? He sure play a good part, man. Either he a puppet or he acting the part. But when you done talking, this man actually seems as if he doing what the hell he want to do. You know what I'm saying? I be sitting back listening like, look at Trump. I mean, you get on Twitter, tweet whatever you want, talk crazy about his colleagues, You dig? Everybody around them going to jail and getting fired, stepping down. I'm like, man, this heathen ain't playing. And still arrogant as all hell.
Ruthless.
You feel me? And it's wild. If you ever want to get a whiff at how arrogant Pharaoh was, look at Donald Trump. And just so happened in this time in history, 2019, in this time of history, we on the cusp of our exodus. You understand? And again, I ain't setting no dates or nothing, but as the time gets closer and closer, that means we're even closer to the kingdom, closer to our departure and our redemption. But how ironic, man. I mean, he even on the temple currency over in Jerusalem. Yeah. You know, last year in 2018, it was the 70th year since Israel was established, right? Then they got him on the temple coin as Cyrus the Persian, who ironically released our forefathers from the Babylonian captivity after what? 70 years. How ironic that this heathen, you dig, holds the most powerful position in the earth. You understand? In the sight of the mainstream. Donald Trump, man. This is crazy to me. So now he like, if I don't get my wall built, look, we had this government shut down for years. And I ain't borrowing none of y'all because I got money. Y'all the ones can't afford to go to work. Man, Donald Trump, boy, I'll tell you. So look, Trump stalks out of shutdown session with Dems, and he says bye-bye. He like, give me my wall else. They like, look, we ain't giving you no funding for no wall. He walked out the session and told them bye-bye. This is your commander-in-chief, man. Donald Trump. So here you go right here. It says, migrants mainly from Mexico and Central America look on as U.S. President Donald Trump gives a prime time address about border security. Tuesday, this was yesterday, January the 8th, 2019, watching from a border migrant shelter. Ain't that something? In Tijuana, Mexico. Let's read some of this. Can y'all see that? I got it up on 150%. You can't, shift your phone or something. But you say, Poppy, dumb as hell. I know, boy. But hey, boy, when you talking about arrogant, this heathen don't care. I mean, the same heathen, you feel me? They got a porn scandal going on with Stormy Daniels. You forgot about that? This same heathen who was talking about wolf snatching, rattling Tic Tacs. Hey, believe it or not, the same heathen that the Simpsons prophesied would get murdered. Donald Trump became president on the cartoon The Simpsons 15 years ago. 15 years ago. All you gotta do is watch Donald Trump President Simpsons on YouTube. You'll see they already had an episode where Donald Trump was president, man. And he got assassinated. And the image that he was part of when he went over to Saudi Arabia and put his hand on that little crystal ball, all that was already in the cartoon. And the people around him were dressed the exact same. I said, boy, these heathens know what they doing, man. Stop it, man. So it says right here, Washington AP, President Donald Trump stalked out of his negotiating meeting with congressional leaders Wednesday. That's today. I said bye-bye. He tweeted soon after, as efforts to end the 19-day partial government shutdown fell into deeper disarray over his demand for billions of dollars to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers now face lost paychecks on Friday. He requesting billions to build some type of wall, right? It's crazy because, dang, you can request billions for that, but not for all the homeless. Huh? This heathen is beyond arrogant. The president is to visit the border in person on Thursday. That's tomorrow. But he has expressed his own doubts that his appearance and remarks will change any minds. The brief session in the White House Situation Room ended almost as soon as it began. Dang. Over in a nanosecond. Y'all see that? The Democrats said they asked Trump to reopen the government, but he told them if he did, they wouldn't give him money for the wall that has been his signature promise since his presidential campaign 2 years ago. Republicans said Trump posed a direct question to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. If he opened the government, would she fund the wall? She said no. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said Trump slammed his hand on the table and walked out. Republicans said Trump, who passed out candy at the start of the meeting. What is he? Hey, man. Again, if you want a glimpse at how arrogant Pharaoh was, look at Trump. Trump ain't worried about nobody. He doing what he want to do. Or he taking some heaven of some orders, boy. I'm telling you. It's right here. It said Republicans said Trump, who passed out candy at the start of the meeting, did not raise his voice, and there was no table pounding. One result was certain. The shutdown plunged into new territory with no end game in sight. Do y'all hear that? Now, look, there's been a few articles coming out talking about they're about to cut the food stamps, and you may not get your tax return or your refund as quick as you thought. You feel me? What you're seeing, you feel me, is the inevitable. Babylon must fall. You feel me? Every year they hit a debt ceiling, and they have to do what? Shut the government down. That's been going on for the past 4 or 5 years. They hit a debt ceiling. You feel me? They have to shut the government down. The economic bailouts that was given to the corporations, all that, man. Like, they ain't do nothing but prolong the inevitable, and that is Babylon must fall. Ain't no getting around it, right? All right, so it says right here, the Democrats see the idea of the long, impenetrable wall as ineffective and even immoral. A certain use of the $5.7 billion Trump is asking, he sees it as an absolute necessity to stop what he calls a crisis of illegal immigration, drug smuggling, and human trafficking at the border. The president made clear today that he is going to stand firm to achieve his priorities to build a wall, a steel barrier at the southern border. Vice President Mike Pence told reporters afterwards. Sound like, I mean, you be talking about keeping people out. How you know they ain't trying to lock us in this deal?
Right.
How you know that? You feel me? What's the next step after he get this mysterious wall? What's the next step? Martial law? You feel me? The insistence and Trump's walking out were really, really unfortunate, said Schumer. Trump had just returned from Capitol Hill, where he urged jittery congressional Republicans to hold firm with him. He suggested a deal for his border wall might be getting closer, but he also said the shutdown would last whatever it takes. So Trump like, look, if I don't get my wall, hey, the government gonna stay shut down. Right? He discussed the possibility of a sweeping immigration compromise with Democrats to protect some immigrants from deportation, but provided no clear strategy or timeline for resolving the standoff. According to senators in the private session, he left a Republican lunch boasting of a very, very unified party. But GOP senators are publicly uneasy as the standoff ripples across the lives of Americans and interrupts the economy. Yeah. Trump insisted at the White House, I didn't want this fight. But if it was his sudden rejection of a bipartisan spending bill late last month that blindsided the leaders in Congress, including Republican allies, now seeking a resolution to the shutdown. So y'all can go ahead and keep reading that when y'all get a chance to. I ain't gonna read the whole thing. But yeah, you 19 days into a shutdown, federal government shutdown. You feel me? And all these things are signs of a permanent shutdown is coming. Babylon will burn. Babylon will fall. You dig? So I just wanted to hit that real quick. All praises, glory, and honor to the Most High. All right, so now, have y'all, who all ever heard of the doctrine that Cain's father is the devil, that the devil had sex with Eve, you feel me, before Adam had sex with her and produced Cain? If y'all have heard that doctrine before, throw a 7 up in the chat. We about to get into some of this.
Or had sex with her at all.
Yeah. Exactly. Had sex with her, period. All right. Oh, wait, that's that definition about that 20 you was talking about there, boy. That's that tab right there, that first one right there. All right, so first we're going to go to Wikipedia. And we're going to identify some of these proponents, heathens that were actually teaching this. Wikipedia, Serpent'S. Everybody hitting 7s. They're like, yeah, we done heard that way off. Keith Jenkins said that's his first time. And bro said, I've never heard that doctrine of devils. Yeah, Poppy, what you mean what? Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, it's Israelites that teach this. You feel me? Now, so we're going to get into the origin of it. We're going to pull names. You feel me? You're going to be able to look at some of these heathens. You're going to see it's in certain books that are not even inspired, because everything floating around is not inspired. If y'all can see that, do I need to make that bigger? Let me make that bigger for y'all. Make sure y'all can see that. I want y'all looking right at this deal, so y'all be like, Mally and Yoel making that stuff up. I told y'all them brothers done lost their mind. Huh? I told y'all they were some hobos. Why you listen to them?
That's right. That's right.
Hey, bro, you know it's all love, man. we gonna, hey, if it's time for a little laughing, we gonna laugh.
We gonna laugh. Let us all laugh.
That's all it is.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, y'all. So we on Wikipedia, man. It's all love, man.
Joke ain't gonna be all over the house.
Hey, man. We'll laugh with you and at you.
Yes, sir.
That's how we do. All right, so serpent seed. All right. For the Christian concept of the seed of the serpent, seed of the woman. That's another one. Serpent seed, dual seed, or two seed line is a controversial religious belief, which explains the biblical account of the fall of man by saying that the serpent in the Garden of Eden made it with Eve. For y'all that don't know, that means he laid with her, you understand, and she conceived. And that the offspring of their union was Cain. This appears in early Gnostic writings, such as the Gospel of Philip, circa 350. So look, it pops up 350 years after the death of the Messiah. Philip the disciple lived around the time of the Messiah. So just like Christianity popped up 300 years later, guess what else as early as it popped up? 350, the Gospel of Philip, right? This teaching was explicitly rejected as heresy by Irenaeus, circa 180, right? One of the early church fathers, and later by mainstream Christian theologians. According to the Celtic Church in Britain, by Leslie Hardings, the early Celtic Church taught the belief in the seduction of Eve by the serpent. So we seeing where it all came from as early as 180 AD, and you got 350 AD, right? And they were dealing with who's the father of Cain. And you see the Celtic Church in Britain, right? The early church, Celtic Church, taught the belief in the seduction of Eve by the serpent. Notable proponents, meaning they for this. They not opponents, they're proponents. Notable proponents of the serpent seed doctrine have included Daniel Parker. Who is this heathen? He lived from 1781 to 1844. Let's look. Let's see. No. Who was this heathen? Look like a caveman.
Vine swinging.
Daniel Parker.
They call him Elder Daniel Parker. This is probably who OG Maddox used to call the Cro-Magnon.
Cro-Magnon.
All right, so he lived from January 29th, 1781 to December 3rd, 1844. So he was roughly 60 plus years, was an early American leader in the primitive Baptist church. In the southern United States, and the founder of numerous churches, including Pilgrim Primitive Baptist Church in Elkhart, Texas. If y'all check the dates, what y'all notice about the dates between 1781 and 1844? What was going on with us? We were slaves. You understand? We were slaves at this time. When you got modern proponents vouching for this, you were still in chains. The location of the Parker family cemetery. As an elder, Parker led a group who separated from that church and formed the two seed in the spirit Presbyterian Baptist. Parker is one of the earliest documented, Parker is one of the earliest documented proponents of the doctrine of serpent seed among Protestant Christianity. Y'all see that? This is one of the proponents right here, Daniel Parker, one of the earliest ones. When you're talking about our captivity and our sojourning over here in America, you're looking at one right there who taught that Cain's father is the devil, meaning that the devil or the serpent laid with Eve and produced Cain. All right, then it goes to where he was born and all that. We're going to get into some more, though. We're going to get into some more. It ain't just Daniel Parker. Let's see some more. Let's see some more family. Who else we got? We got Daniel Parker. We got William M. Branham. Let's look him up.
Branham.
Right, Branham.
These heathens with their names, bro.
William M. Branham, April 6, 1909 to December the 24th, 1965. Left up out of her on Christmas Eve. Probably celebrated Christmas as well. All right. William Marion Branham was an American Christian minister and faith healer who initiated the post-World War II healing revival. He left a lasting impact. Look at this heathen. Look like George Bush. Look like George Bush. Look at that heathen.
Fish lip heathen.
He probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he was related to George Whiskey Bush and them. You feel me? Because Daddy Bush just died. But look at him. He looked just like Bush. He left a lasting impact on televangelism. Oh, you the one responsible for that, huh? And the modern charismatic movement, and is recognized as the principal architect of restorationist thoughts for charismatics by some Christian historians. At the time they were held, his interdenominational meetings were the largest religious meetings ever held in some American cities. Branham was the first American deliverance minister to successfully campaign in Europe. His ministry reached global audiences with major campaigns held. Major campaigns held in North America, Europe, Africa, and India. All right, let's read more about this heathen right now. Branham claimed to have received an angelic visitation on May 7th, 1946. On May 7, 1946, commissioning his worldwide ministry. So he said he got a visitation by an angel. All right. And launching his campaign career in mid-1946, his fame spread rapidly as crowds were drawn to his stories of angelic visitations and reports of miracles happening at his meetings. His ministry spawned many emulators and set in motion the broader healing revival that later became the modern charismatic movement. From 1955, let me see if I can go down on here. What's wrong with this deal? Oh, no. Hold on. Come on, Branham. Ah, man.
That was one. They ain't want to see that.
Yeah, it's low right up there. Just see that circle. Maybe something trying to catch up a little taste. Let's get it done. All right, let me go back then. If I can go back, I'm going to go back. Let's see what else we got on her. Reading about this serpent seed line, who is the father of Cain? Because it's taught, some brothers believe to this very day, you feel me, that Cain's father is the devil, meaning he laid with Mary to produce. You understand? Not Mary, but Eve. Please forgive me. He laid with Eve to produce Cain. All right, so we're going to get into this. We're going to see what it is to be called a son of the devil. All right, we back on your boy Branham real quick. We're going to see what it's meant to be called a son of the devil. There's something about him, boy, the enemy do not want, not want red. It just was working. Let me go back. Oh, Branham. Let me go to somebody else and see what's going on. But all these are proponents of the so-called serpent seed line, and that the serpent again mated with Eve and produced Cain. That's basic. You feel me? And as we read the story, it's an easy read, man. So it's impossible for you to come up with that understanding by just clearly reading the Bible. You feel me? Just like with Joseph being the father. It's impossible for you to come up with that understanding by just reading the scriptures for what they are. Somebody introduced that into your mind first. Right? Somebody introduced that into your mind, and then and only then you start believing certain things and leaving out other things. All right? All right, so now we move. All right, hold on. Y'all bear with a brother real quick. All right, bang. Oh, man. It's amazing. And if we're not careful and sticking to the scripture, you understand, we'll be teaching all this stuff. Arnold Murray, all right, there's another guy from 1929 to 2014. He died 5 years ago. This belief is also held by some adherents of the white supremacist theology. Read that again. This belief is also held by some white adherents of the white supremacist theology known as Christian identity. Y'all hear that? Dang. So this belief, the origin of it got everything to do with some heathens. Right? And it's Israelites that actually teach this and believe this, or they step back off of it and say, we ain't going to address that right now. We'll just play it safe. You understand? But this right here is a belief actually held by the Klan. All right? Who claim that the Jews are descended from the serpent. Wow, because we are the Jews. We are the Hebrews. Right? How ironic that the Klan, those is in the white supremacy, the neo-Nazis in them, they hate the so-called niggas and Jews. And how ironic we are the Jews, the biblical Jews, when you get done talking. Right? But how ironic that this belief is held by one of our main enemies. White supremacy. This is where this whole doctrine originates from here in the Americas. All right? Who claim that the Jews are descendants of the serpent. It is considered heresy by the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches and by most Protestants. Dang. Even the Catholic Church called it heresy. The Unification Church, for example, teaches that Eve committed adultery with the devil, but does not teach the serpent seed doctrine. A section of the Mormon fundamentalist group, Church of the Firstborn, Liberian Order, led by author and publisher Fred Collier out of Hannah, Utah, adhere to a form of two-seed line doctrine history. The idea that Eve made it with the serpent or with Satan to produce Cain has been taught in various forms for thousands of years. This is not a new doctrine. You see, it's just as of late, the earliest it can be traced back to is like the 1700s. But this was something that was being discussed thousands of years ago. All right. It finds its earliest expression in Gnostic writings, the Gospel of Philip. We read that earlier. All right. And it's going to Daniel Parker. Read about him. William Branham. All right. Trip off this. William Branham taught that Eve and the serpent had sexual intercourse and that Cain's birth was the result. Have we heard that before?
Yes, sir.
All right. Consequently, every woman.
I grew up learning.
Yeah. Consequently, every woman potentially carried the literal seed of the devil. Wow. Consequently, because Eve had sex with the serpent, William Branham taught every woman potentially carried the literal seed of the devil. Cain's descendants were today masquerading as the educated and the scientists, who were a big religious bunch of illegitimate bastard children. The serpent was the missing link between the chimpanzee and man. Wow. Central sins of modern culture: immoral women in education were a result of the serpent seed. Branham's attitude toward culture was an extremist perspective of Christ against culture. Education was Satan's snare for intellectual Christians who rejected the supernatural. Education was Satan's tool for obscuring the simplicity of the messenger and his message, i.e. William Branham and his message. Wow. Arnold Murray, 1929-2014. Arnold Murray, founder of the Shepherd's Chapel, taught the serpent seed doctrine. He accepted the belief that the Jews, kingdom of Judah, were descended from Adam through Seth, as described in the Bible. However, his view was that the Kenites were the offspring of Cain and that they infiltrated the northern kingdom of Israel. Murray's teachings are disputed by Protestant apologetics ministries, CARM and CRI. They got the Christian identity movement, adherents of the white supremacist theology known as two-seed line Christian identity, hold the view that only white people are descendants of Adam and hence the chosen people of God. That's what the Klan teach. The Jewish people are believed to be descendants of Cain and thus Satan. The belief was developed by Wesley A. Swift. Wow. Oh, Wesley, huh? Wesley A. Swift, Church of Jesus Christ Christian, Conrad Gard, Church of Israel, and William Potter Gale, among others. The opposing factions called One Seed Line Christian Identity, and its adherents hold the view that all people are descended from Adam, but they believe that only Aryans, meaning Northern Europeans, are truly God's chosen people. Wow, y'all see, this is a man-made doctrine. Y'all see that? Who is Wesley Swift? Let's look this heathen up real quick. Who is this heathen? Wesley A. Smith, 1913 to 1970, was a former Methodist minister from Southern California that is most famous for his racist views, including his denial of the Holocaust. In the 1940s, Swift started his own church, later known as the Church of Jesus Christ Christian. The church's website now states that Wesley Swift is considered the single most significant figure in the early years of the Christian identity movement in the United States. He is also responsible for the formation of the Antelope Valley chapter of the KKK and is associated with the militant Christian group, the California Rangers. He has been denounced for his views by members of the left and right, both, including condemnation from Robert W. Welch Jr. of the John Birch Society. Swift died in a Mexican clinic on October 8, 1970, apparently from a heart attack. Y'all see what's going on here, right? All right. Now, also, I don't know if any of y'all heard of the explanation. Like, okay, well, if the serpent laid with Eve and she became pregnant with Cain, then when did Adam lay with Eve to produce Abel? Right? That means he laid with her when she partook of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What's taught is basically that's a metaphor for her laying with the devil. And then she becoming pregnant, and then she ended up having to go lay with her husband. And she becomes pregnant by him too. The medical definition for that, y'all, is superfetation. Believe it or not, it's a medical term. Superfetation. All right, and this has been taught. This has been taught over the years. Yeah, that Cain and Abel are actually twins of two separate fathers. If y'all have ever heard that before, throw a 7 up here. That would make Adam gay, because that means he took of the fruit too. If the fruit that Eve partook of was sex from the serpent, that would make Adam a faggot.
No, he gave her knowledge. You know he taught us something.
Exactly.
He taught us something.
You gonna seduce and get in the middle.
You know that Swift nigga was going, hey, come on, baby girl.
Yeah.
Now you need to know this, then, and third. Oh, you know something.
Mm-hmm.
So now let me lay with thou.
So trip off this. I trip off this right here. Michelle Kelbree, my New Jersey sister. You done heard that before too, Carla Keys. Look at me, guy. I done heard of it, but Judah Loyalty, how'd you go lightly? Shalom, Mop. Shalom. All right, so look, what was explained before is that not Adam, but Cain and Abel actually were twins. That Eve, when she partook of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's basically a metaphor, a slick way to say that Satan seduced her and laid with her, but put seed in her. All right. And then, but the scripture also say that she gave to her husband with her, and he partook as well. And their eyes were open. They realized they was naked. They took fig leaves. They sewed them together. They covered it up. Then the Most High came and hollered at them. Right. So what's been taught is that Cain and Abel are twins. You feel me? But one's father is the devil and one is Adam. And the way this is possible, brother, is through a process called superfetation. This right here is on www.medicinenet.com. Medical definition of superfetation. And y'all, this should open our eyes up to the extremes and lengths one would go to hold on to a false doctrine. You feel me? Like you'll force something into the scriptures because you understand that you don't got an answer for it. You feel me? And years later, if you're not careful, it'll come back and bite you, man. Because you better believe the generation underneath you is studying everything you're saying. They combing through it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure it holds up. You understand? There ain't nothing wrong with that. Any man that considers himself to be out here teaching or whatever, he shouldn't mind being questioned about what it is he's bringing forth. All right? So what's been taught in the past is again, that Cain and Abel are twins, same mama, different daddies. And the definition that's always been used is that of superfetation. All right? So let's read what superfetation is. Superfetation is an extremely rare situation in which a pregnant woman becomes pregnant a second time with another younger fetus. Y'all heard that? an extremely rare situation in which a pregnant woman, so she already pregnant, right, becomes pregnant a second time with another younger fetus. Wow. Is characterized by the fertilization and the implantation of a second, I don't even know how y'all say that. How y'all say that, sisters? Ookite? Fertilization and the implantation of a second ookite in a uterus already containing the product of previous conception. So in other words, you understand, basically basically some more sperm than, I guess, rested on the egg that's already been fertilized. That's what it's basically going into. Superfetation is different from the process of twinning. Superfetation don't mean twinning. We were taught that Cain and Abel were twins, and the medical term being used was superfetation. But superfetation ain't got nothing to do with twinning. You feel me? The one is younger than the one that's already been implanted. We just read that earlier, a younger fetus, right? It says right here, superfetation is different from the process of twinning or multiple gestation and involves the conception of an additional fetus during an established pregnancy, right? So superfetation has nothing to do with twins, nothing to do with it at all, all right? It is different from the process of twinning or multiple gestation and involves the conception of an additional fetus during an established pregnancy. With superfetation, the two fetuses have different due dates. They due dates are not the same, so they can't be twins. Twins are when you're born at the same time, same due date. All right. Superfetation can occur in some animals, but is so rare in humans. So rare in humans that fewer than 10 cases have been reported in the medical literature. Do y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? So again, you could be tricked real quick into believing a doctrine that Cain and Abel were twins due to superfetation, due to after the devil impregnated Eve, then Adam impregnated. You feel me? That quick. And there's no scripture that says anything about the serpent begetting Cain. Nothing. Watch this. Now, was she seduced? Of course. Of course, the devil seduced everybody. Whenever you go against the Most High, you're being seduced. All right? Read this right here. Bang. Got another one, the Serpent Seed Heresy, study number 190. This is off StephenMCollins.com, the Serpent Seed Heresy. All right. It says it has recently come to attention of the authors that there is a belief generally called the serpent seed doctrine, which is being promulgated by various groups around the country, and which has even taken root among individuals who are assumed to be staunch, well-rounded members of the Most High's church. Perhaps this doctrine is attractive to some since it offers its adherents a soothing basis for justified attitudes of racial hatred. So the root of this doctrine is racial hatred, because all you got to do is subscribe somebody that you don't like as what? The son of the devil. Somebody or some group, the son of the devil. You feel me? And tie them to Cain's lineage. Now, but Cain's lineage got wiped out with the flood. Perhaps this doctrine is attractive to some since it offers its adherents a soothing basis for justified attitudes of racial hatred. Whatever the reason for people adopting this doctrine, it is a dangerous heresy about which Christians need to be forewarned. Briefly stated, the serpent seed doctrine revolves around the interpretation of Genesis 3:15, which states that there are races of mankind on earth which are directly descended from Satan himself. This doctrine, we done heard that, right? This doctrine maintains that Satan, the serpent, cohabited with Mother Eve and engendered a race of men which are not descended from the direct union of Adam and Eve. It also maintains that this serpent seed race is yet present on the earth, and the blacks and or the Jews are generally alleged to be the products of this satanic union with Eve. Do y'all see that? At the basis, at the foundation of this doctrine is that you, the chosen seed, are actually descendants of Satan. We showed the white identity movement earlier based behind it, the Klan, the KKK, the neo-Nazis. You see? The foundation of this doctrine is that you so-called Hebrew Israelites actually are descendants of the devil. Wow. 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 There are variations on this belief, at least one of which is that the serpent seed race now on earth descended from men of pre-Adamic race, that they came from the satanic world which preceded the Adamic age and are not descended from Adam at all. Another is that Cain was the son of Satan and Eve, not the son of Adam and Eve. This variation is utterly ridiculous, since Genesis 4:1 states Adam knew his wife and she conceived and bare Cain. If these doctrines were true, it would justify racial hatred toward the blacks, Jews, or any other race which one wished to subscribe to Satan's organization. However, these ideas are not true and are easily proven false by biblical scriptures. Let us first examine who is glorified by the adherents of the serpent seed doctrine. Who gets the glorification? Right? Who gets the glorification? Crazy, man. Even though the believers of this doctrine may not realize that they are actually exalting Satan. Wow. They actually are exalting Satan to God rank by attributing to him the power of a creator or a life giver. You hear that? You actually exalting the devil, because you're basically saying he got the ability to reproduce life, to create man in his image. That's what you be saying. And if that's the case, what's the use of artificial intelligence? If Satan is making man how the Most High making man, if he can just lay with Eve and produce Cain, why do we need artificial intelligence today? There's no need for it. You see? Right, we're going to get into it. We got Jubilees and all that, man. You feel me? We got Jubilees and all that. We're going to get into it. Right, think outside the bar. I hear you. Okay, trip off this. Read again. Even though the believers of this doctrine may not realize that they are actually exalting Satan to God rank by attributing to him the power of a creator or life giver. The Bible states clearly and emphatically that the Messiah made all things. John 1:3. States all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Hebrews 1:10-11 also reserves to God alone the role of creator and life giver. You see, Satan himself, personified as the king of Tyre, is referred to in Ezekiel 28:12-16 as an anointed cherub that covereth. Apparently he had wings, who was in Eden, the garden of God. Verse 13 and 16 refer to Satan as having been created by God at a finite point in the ancient past. Satan is one of many millions of angels which were created by the Most High. Christ tells us in Matthew 22:30 that the angels in heaven neither marry nor are given in marriage. You get down into it. So y'all finish reading most of that. You're going to get into it and start seeing deeper and deeper, and they pulling more and more scriptures as well. But I just wanted to show y'all some of that and show the origin of this thing. And when you tripping off of it, mainly is those that's into the white identity movement, white supremacy, the Klan, the neo-Nazis in them that's down with this, what we call, you know what I'm saying, the serpent seed heresy. It actually originated with them during our time. If you want to talk about during our time here in America, held captive as a slave in America, then you will see that it started here in America with white supremacists. You see, but they had been arguing about this going back to 350 AD, 180 AD, and all that. You feel me? So what we're gonna do is see, do the scriptures hold up to this doctrine? You feel me? And that's what we're gonna do. All right. So first scripture we're gonna go to, just real quick. All praise and glory now to the Most High, on the creator and possessor of all things. We're gonna get her done. We're gonna examine. I don't got the lost books of Adam and Eve. I actually don't even read those. I got Jubilees and Jasher. We're gonna sit back, and I got Josephus. You feel me? We're gonna sit back and examine. Maybe in future or whatever, we can go through them too as well. And compare them and weigh them up and do whatever it is that we got to do. That ain't no problem either. You know, but today I'm dealing with Jubilees. I'm dealing with Genesis. And Jubilees is actually called Little Genesis. I'm dealing with Jubilees. I'm dealing with Genesis. We're going to deal with Jasher. We're going to deal with Josephus. You feel me? Then we're going to go into the scriptures on what it is to be a son of the devil or a son of the serpent. Does that mean that he literally had sex with your mama? Or that he literally had sex with Eve to produce Cain? We're going to see. And if it's false, it's time to put it down. All right? If it's false, it's just time to put it down. All right? All praise to the Most High. My New Jersey sister, my sister Rachel. How that Cali life she broke? How that Cali life? Uh-huh. Oh, man. Bang, bang, bang. We finna see. Get these scripts. All right, can y'all see it up on the screen? I got it up to, it should be 150 that's up there. We're going to Genesis 3 first. Hopefully y'all can see that. I'll put it up on 200 if y'all couldn't. We're going to Genesis 3 and 1 first. That's where we're going to go first. Let's get some understanding. All right, let's get some understanding and see where we're going to go from there. All right, and then maybe a few other scriptures come out that's not on the screen because we're going to have to precept and do what we do. All right, so Genesis 3 and 1. What does it say, y'all?
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1.
Yeah.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh God have made.
Subtle. You understand? So you're dealing with being subtle, being real slick. You feel me? Calculated steps. He's real subtle. He's not impulsive like most of our people are today. Real subtle, real calculated. By the time he bites you, you don't even know you bit. All right, go ahead, Doc.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh had made.
So the serpent is a creation of the Most High? Huh? The serpent is a creation of the Most High. The devil is a creation of the Most High. You feel me? His angelic name, Lucifer. He's a creation of the Most High. All right, go ahead, Hebrew.
And he said unto the woman, yeah, have Yahweh said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
He comes to the woman first, not her head, not her man, but the woman. All right? Now, that's another thing. Either Adam was there or he wasn't. But we're not going to add nothing to the scriptures. We're not going to take you all the way around somewhere. You feel me? Like those that try to claim Joseph his father do. You feel me? That's what happens. Like, reason we going over this topic is because the same tactics they use to prove Joseph is his father, those that believe Satan is Cain's father, they use the same tactics trying to prove it. They all over the place with this thing. And there's a whole bunch of assumptions. And think about it. If you was in a restaurant with your woman and you had to go pee and go to the bathroom and came back out and somebody else was whining and dining, you was with her, but you wasn't with her. Stop it, Doc. Stop that. I'll tell you what it was. He was right there. Right? And there's a lesson to learn from him being right there. Stop trying to remove him out the picture like he wasn't there. He was right there. And there's a lesson learned. You feel me? That's why in the book of Numbers, it lets you know if a man hear his woman praying, he can disannul her prayers. If you go quiet as a man, that means you agree to it. Even in this heathen court, they call it silence or agreement by acquiescence. If you go quiet on something, you agree.
And if you look at the script and examine it very well, when it says right there, it said, and he said unto the woman, yeah, God have said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And we know she got her orders from who? She got her orders from Adam. You feel me? So if we will look in, this is the first order being put down. This is not further down the line when it got distorted by all the different people that's telling it. This is the first situation where the orders was given to Adam. Adam was supposed to give it to his rib, which he did. So he comes to her and asks her clearly, you know what I'm saying? did God say? So we know clearly right there, Adam couldn't have been there.
You're finna see.
Adam could not have been there.
Let's keep reading. Let's get her done.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch of it, lest ye die.
So that means she understood the command and she understood the judgment behind the violation of the command. That means she was taught. She was reared up by her husband. She understood what it was. All right, let's keep reading now.
It say, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
There you go, lying, right? He was a murderer from the beginning. The father of lies, right? He just don't want you to have no fun. Verse 5.
And Adam just sat there and listened to him say, now trip off of this, if you'll give me a second. Trip off of the mentality, because you have to go into the psyche of these individuals. So the Most High created Adam, and he gave Adam a woman to give her rules to help him serve him. So I've given you someone to help me, to help you serve me. And that woman sat there and someone is telling your woman, the one who gave you orders, is lying. And you stand there and say not a word, brother. So basically, like, your man, whoever told him that, he lying. So your man lying. And the man just sat there, said not a word.
Let's keep reading.
Come on, brother.
Verse 5.
Verse 5. For Yahweh does know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
So now the woman is enticed. Like, be as God, knowing good and evil. Right? He just don't want you to have no fun, basically. You ain't gonna die. Let your hair down a little bit. Enjoy yourself. Relax. God just know you're gonna be like him. You're gonna know good and evil, right? Verse 6, what it say?
All right, let me add. Can I add to this if you don't mind, bro? Hey, this is something I love to bring up when folks try to use this right here. Trip off of that right there very clearly where it said good and evil. You already know all good. Everything around you is good. Why would you want to know evil? This is the woman. Why would you want to know evil? It said that, listen to where it clearly say, and Yahweh does know that in the day ye eat thereof, then because your creator created you, this is all good. Everything you know is good. He said right there, he say, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Come on, verse 6.
Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for fruits, the woman said that.
And she saw that the tree was good for fruit. Let's keep going.
And that it was pleasant to the eye.
Enticing, right? Very enticing. Whatever's pleasant to your eyes, you are Lord to it. Right? Go ahead.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise.
Oh, it's wisdom that come with this, right? This is the fruit off this tree makes you wise. It's pleasant to the eyes. It's good for food. It's beneficial based off your carnal reasoning. You like, look, it's going to benefit me to go ahead and partake of this. God tripping, right? Go ahead.
She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her. And he did eat.
Give me Hosea 10 and 13. Right? Hosea 10, 13, and 14. Just real quick. And he gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So this fruit right here, what did it say? tree was good for food. It's nutritional. It's healthy. It's alluring to the eyes. And it has something to do with wisdom. She partook of it and did eat and gave also unto her husband with her. And he did eat. What did Hosea 10 and 13 say?
Hosea chapter 10, verse 13. Ye have plowed wickedness. Ye have reaped iniquity. Ye have eaten the fruit of lies, because thou did trust in thy way.
You have eaten the fruit of who?
Ye have eaten the fruit of lies.
He lied to her. The fruit of lies. He lied to her. You ain't gonna die. God just don't want you to have no fun. Ye have eaten the fruit of lies. Go ahead,
because thou didst trust in thy way, in the multitude of thy mighty men. Therefore shall a tumult arise among thy people, and all of thy fortress shall be spoiled, as Shalman spoiled. But through Bethel in the day of battle, the mother was dashed in pieces upon her children.
That verse 13 again. What that verse 13 say? It say the fruit of what? What it say?
Boy, it says clearly, ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity, ye have eaten the fruit of lies.
You plowed. What it say? You plowed what?
You plowed wickedness.
You plowed wickedness. What else?
Ye have reaped iniquity.
And you've gathered in iniquity. You see that? Come on.
Ye have eaten the fruit of lies.
Talking about iniquity, wickedness, and lies. You did. So yeah, that's the fruit that they partook of. Iniquity, wickedness, and lies. That's what that was about. You see? And before anything happens in the physical, your mind has already been overthrown. And see, once she was seduced, and then guess what? She seduced her man. She seduced her man. She gets seduced with iniquity, wickedness, and lies, and then she seduces her man. The same thing. Iniquity, wickedness, and lies. But again, stay on topic. Does this make Cain the biological son of the serpent? That's the question. All right? Does this make Cain the biological son of the serpent? Yea or nay? Oh, we starting to have some problems. Houston, we got a problem here. Houston, we got a problem. So that right there, let's get back to this Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3. Because we want to go ahead and show fruit. All right? The Messiah said all the time in Matthew the 7th chapter. Matter of fact, grab that next for me. Matthew 7. Matthew 7. Read me 10 through 13. 10 through 13. Matthew 7, 10 through 13.
Matthew chapter 7.
We talking about iniquity, wickedness, and lies. That's fruit. Have you ever heard the phrase food for thought? You see? Food for thought. Food ain't just physical. Food is also what you take in, period. And you take in everything through the gates that's in your head, either through your ears, through your nostrils, through your mouth, or through your eyes. All right? You take in certain things, and then you meditate. That's digesting certain things. You get rid of the waste. You feel me? And now whatever you took in is a part of it. Food is not just physical. All right? Come on, Hebrew, let's get it.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 10. You want a 10 or 13?
Yeah, read 10 through 13 for me.
10 through 13. It say, or if he asked a fish, let me go on verse 9. Let me start at verse 8. It said, for everyone that asks receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be open. Or what man is there of you, whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a serpent? Verse 11. If ye then be evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your fathers which is in heaven give good things to them that ask him. Therefore, verse 12, therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that man should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter ye in at the strait gates, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many therein which go in thither. Because strait is the gate, and narrow which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Do the what verse was that?
It was 14.
Verse 14, keep going. Keep going.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
Beware of false prophets. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits.
You should know them. He talking about men, right? But he's comparing men to trees right here. You should know them by their fruits, right? What fruit can a man bear outside of his physical children? Whatever's coming off his lips, whatever's being taught. And what did the serpent teach Eve? And that she brought to her husband? Wickedness, iniquity, and lies, which led to our death, right? Beware of false prophets. Serpent is a false prophet. Came and lied right out the gate to Eve. She believed it, right? Saw it was good for food. One to make you wise. One that was pleasurable and desirable to the eyes. She's like, oh yeah, I'm down with that. But it was our death. You see? So right here he say, you're going to know them by their fruits. Comparing men to trees that bear fruit. Right? Go ahead, Op.
Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?
Right.
Even so, every good tree bring forth good fruit.
Right, because grapes come off a vine. Right? Figs come off fig trees. So he's just letting it be known. If it's a fig, it must come off a fig tree. If it's a grape, it must come off a vine. It can't come off something that don't bear it. That don't make sense. Right? Go ahead, Op.
But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Yeah, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Iniquity, wickedness, and lies, do you understand, was what was passed to Eve from the serpent when he seduced her mentally. Right? He is one of those trees that brought forth evil fruit or corrupt fruit that she partook in, and then she did what? She seduced her husband into doing the same. All right, go ahead, Op.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
Go ahead.
Every tree that bring not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. What for? By their fruit ye shall know them.
By their fruit you shall what?
You shall know them.
You shall know them by their fruit, based off what's being taught. Right? It's either iniquity, wickedness, and lies, or it's the truth. It's righteousness. It's commandment keeping. You see? So again, that wasn't sex, physical sex that was passed. It was iniquity, wickedness, and lies that was passed to her. You feel me? And then she passed it to her husband. Right? That's what ended up happening. Give me a second witness to that. Was you done with that verse? Give me a second witness to that. Matthew 12 and 33. Matthew 12 and 33. Matthew 12, 33 through 35.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 33.
Yeah.
Either make the tree good and his fruit good.
Yeah.
Or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt. For the tree is known by his fruits.
But the tree is known by its fruits. You see that? All right, go ahead.
Oh, generation of vipers.
So we got snake. We got trees. We got fruit. And now we got snakes. The very three elements that were in the garden.
In the garden.
Trees, we got fruits, we got snakes. Or serpents. Right? And those that the Messiah and his understanding, his infinite understanding of it, he compared trees to false prophets and bad fruit. right? Then called them snakes. Huh? The very thing that we see in the garden. You see? But if that was sex, you see what I'm saying? Then we got a major league problem. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Doc.
For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. A good man out of the good treasures of the heart bring forth good things. And a evil man out of the evil treasures bring forth evil things.
Yeah, that was 35.
35.
All right, that's it for that. Read that 36, and then we get back to Genesis 3.
Verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment.
All right, we back to Genesis 3 and 6. Again, so that's letting us know, watch our mouth. What we teaching, what we speaking. You don't want to be a tree that don't bring forth good fruit or no fruit at all, because your only judgment is to what? Chop you down and throw you in the fire. Matthew 3 and 8, right? You only good for firewood. Matthew 3, 8 through 10, actually. All right, so that's the end game of those bearing bad fruit. The same with the serpent in the beginning. He was bearing bad fruit. All right. Genesis 3 and 6 again. Let's get it.
Yo.
Yeah.
Huh? All praise. Let's get this word out.
Let's get it.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food.
So through the gates of her eyes. Remember, everything that you know, your whole awareness of this world is through the gates in your mind or your head, your face, right? Your two eyes. So she saw, right? Two eyes, go ahead, good for food. But then food is you take in through your mouth, tasting, right? Go ahead.
And that it was pleasant to the eyes.
Pleasant to the eyes. Eyes again, come on.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise.
Yeah, how else you gonna get wisdom unless you bow your head and listen? Showing you that you don't magically just get wisdom. You got to observe and listen. You understand? And then apply the knowledge that you have. That lets you know this thing is deeper than just some carnal sex you're talking about. All right, go ahead, Doc.
She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her.
With her. Go ahead.
And he did eat.
So he partook of the wickedness, iniquity, and lies as well that the devil gave to her. Verse 7. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves
aprons.
Aprons.
Now look, if you sowing fig leaves, that means there were fig trees in the garden. Where else you getting fig leaves from? Fig leaves are on fig trees. It's another angle looking to the garden. There were fig trees in the garden. Where else would they get the leaves from? You see? Right. And also when you read Numbers the 30th chapter, I ain't gonna have your head read that, but when you read Numbers the 30th chapter, it lets you know the penalty for a man being around and hearing his woman about to get into iniquity and he don't say nothing. You see what I'm saying? Something to be learned. All right, go ahead.
And just for I love to bring things up to speed because the Most High and Yahweh Shai, they use parables. They use something that you understand so you can understand what they saying. So it's basically like in regular terms, they're dumb themselves down so you can understand what's going on. So let me ask anybody a question. If you have a wife, you feel me? And let's say you are in Florida, 1,000 miles away from her. Is she with you? Is that your wife? Y'all, she with me. Huh? If that's your wife? Yeah, she with me. Huh? Can somebody else deal with her? No, she with me. So we know with me, huh? That's mine's. That's mine's. With me. Stop it, man.
All right, where we at? Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
And say, and they heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh amongst the trees of the garden.
They knew they didn't trip. The only reason you hide, the only reason a child hide themselves is because they realized they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. You see that? You didn't got caught slipping. Go ahead, Doc.
And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh among the trees of the garden. Verse 9. And the Lord Yahweh called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself.
Now remind you, this acting already went down. So at this point, anybody believing that Cain's father is the serpent, you would have to be saying Eve is already pregnant with Cain and Abel. Because the fruit that she partook in from the devil was also Adam also partook of the same fruit. If the fruit is sex, then at this moment, Eve is already pregnant with Cain and Abel. It starts falling apart once you start questioning it for real. You must be saying Eve pregnant right now at this point when we read, because the transgression already happened. They already naked. They already covering up. You would have to be saying at this moment right now, Eve is already pregnant, not only with Cain from the devil, but also with Abel from Adam, because those that believe this believe that the fruit is actually sex. Let's keep reading.
And he said, who told thee that thou wast naked?
Yeah.
How hast thou eaten the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou should not eat?
And it's wild because you as a parent do that today. Like you ask your child a question already knowing the answer to it, to see how they're going to maneuver and answer you. Are they going to lie to you? Are they going to keep it all the way solid with you? All right, go ahead, Doc.
And the man said, the woman whose thou gavest to be with me, she gave me other trees.
So Adam come right out and confess what it is. And the man said, the woman that thou gavest to be with me, which is a fact. Go to Genesis chapter 2. Who gave Eve to Adam? Most High. She gave me of the tree. Go back to Genesis 3 and 7. She did. She gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Adam came right out and confessed.
He didn't say Satan gave it to us, because the scripture would say us. He was right there. He gave it to us.
Yeah,
and I did eat.
That ain't even the point I'm hitting on. The point I'm getting at is the fact right here. What he say right here. And the man said, because it's put out there that Adam was blaming somebody. Adam kept everything solid. He just came right out and confessed. I'm caught in that. Yeah. The woman whom thou gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Where did he lie at? The woman was given to him by the Most High in Genesis 2nd chapter, and she gave him of the tree. She did. The serpent gave what he gave to her, and she brought it to him. All right. And as we get into these other books, you're gonna start seeing how it all unfolds, man. It's wild what happened. All right. All right, and I did eat. So it don't, even if you don't slow down, you start thinking Adam was blaming her. But now Adam listened to her. That's where he went off at. But he came right out and confessed. When the Most High asked him, right, who told thee? Right? Who? Verse 11. Who told thee that thou was naked? Right? Who? Right? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded thou not to eat? And the man came, and the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. He came out and confessed the truth. That's what happened. Verse 13.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
And the Lord Yahweh said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat.
No.
And the Lord Yahweh,
the Most High asked her, what is this? He ain't said nothing about no who. What is this that you have done? Right? Ask your children that sometimes. What happened? Brian and Timmy, they get the naming names. I asked you what happened, not who. He asked the who to Adam. Adam come right out and say what it was. Asked the woman, what is this thou hast done? Adam and Timmy and little Billy and them. See, they had their bikes outside too. Huh? The serpent beguiled me or seduced me, and I did eat. And y'all, we ain't saying that she wasn't seduced, but look, a seduction go down in the mindset. You overthrown in your mind before it get to the flesh. Believe that. And I did eat. Verse 14. Yeah. Verse 14.
Verse 14. And the Lord Yah said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
And we're going to see what a serpent, if you look at a literal snake, a serpent actually tastes dust to see where his enemies are. Snakes eat rodents and all type of stuff. You see, so that's an eternal punishment. Basically, he going to eat up every lie he put out. He going to eat that up. You feel me? When this prophecy is fulfilled. Serpents, snakes don't eat dust right now. You feel me? They taste dust to see where their rodents and their next kill is at. You feel me? So that's an eternal judgment that's coming. And it's basically just going into all the lies that he going to have to eat up. You're going to have to eat that. You're going to have to swallow everything you put out.
And snakes, don't they taste the air? You feel me? Put their tongue out in the air, grab what's around the air. Follicles and stuff. Things that we can't see. So don't put that on the Most High, bro. Stop it. Stop your doctrine, man. Stop that, man.
Come on, let's get it done.
Let's get it, bro. We at verse 15.
I know some of y'all still hold on and saying, no, they gotta be his daddy. We gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see. All right, go ahead.
Verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
Hatred between the serpent and the woman. Right? It still goes on to this very day. This very day. You feel me? Somebody up in that ear whispering. Believe it or not. Go ahead.
And between thy seed and her seed.
This is where this doctrine comes in at. Between thy seed and her seed, or between your offspring and her offspring. But what does it mean to be a seed of the serpent or a son of the devil? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that because we would have to answer this scripture right here. It says right here that he has a seed. The woman got a seed and the serpent got a seed. All right? We're going to see. Go ahead, Op.
Beautiful. And for those that try to say that Adam was right there, bro, why is he not telling Adam, I'm gonna curse y'all seed?
He getting to Adam next. He get to Adam.
No doubt. No doubt.
Come on, let's get it, bro.
All good. Verse 15, 16 now. Not preaching. He say, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Which is a prophecy of Messiah. A lot of people don't even understand that. That's a prophecy of the Messiah, basically at the end of this thing, stomping out the so-called devil. You understand? It is coming. Stomping out the Satan and everybody that's riding with him at his coming. All right? Give me, flip that over. Give me Romans 16. That's a prophecy of the Messiah. All right, Romans 16, I believe it is. Romans 16 and 20.
Romans 16 and 20.
Romans 16 and 20. Let's get into it.
Romans 16, verse 20.
Yeah.
And the Lord Yodewah of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly.
Y'all see that? Will bruise Satan under your feet shortly. Go ahead.
The grace of our Lord Yahushua be with you. Amen.
Going back. So that's showing you that's a prophecy. You feel me? That Paul even understood that when he was writing his letters to the believers in Rome, was letting it be known that that prophecy in Genesis 3 and 15 is about the Messiah bruising the head of the serpent under our feet. In the end, the saints gonna take the kingdom. All right. All right, go ahead, Hebrew.
And we in verse 16 now. Verse 16 in Genesis chapter 3. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be towards thy husband.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband. Go ahead.
And he shall rule over thee.
Yeah, her desire was elsewhere. She was listening to somebody else. And again, y'all, we can learn a lot from just slowing down and reading this. Whether you man or woman, right? Husband and wife, right? Even if we played it for what it is at face value. Say Adam was there. At face value as a man, you can learn a lot from that, man. Ain't nobody finna be talking to my woman in front of me. You understand? I don't care what some other man said. This is what it is. We can learn to stand up and be strong and not listen to our woman and go against the Most High. You understand? As a woman, you can learn, now let me stay in order and be up under my man. You feel me? If I come to him talking about advice from any other man, that can cause chaos in my house. You can learn a lot from it, just looking at it at face value for what it is, right? And again, Numbers 30th chapter, men, if you go silent on something that you know your wife is doing that's off, that blood on you. Even in their courts, they call it agreement by acquiescence. You understand? So even if we, you know, we a lot of us can look back into this thing and try to conceptualize whatever it is, look at it on face value and learn from it. Woman, our sisters need to know that you don't come to your man with no other fruit off no other tree, my bad, or the teachings from some other man, right? As a man, you will learn, no, stay and commit and do what the Most High told you to do. It don't even matter if your woman come up bringing you some spoiled fruit from somebody else. No, that ain't what we was taught. We learn to stay what? In our proper order by just reading this right here. If we don't learn from this, we bound to make the same mistake. You can learn from it. And that's what the Bible is. Whatever was written aforetime was written for our understanding. All right, come on, Hebrew. So right there in the beginning, yes, the structure. The Most High, Messiah, man, woman. That's the order of things. All right, go ahead.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
And unto Adam, he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed it be the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat of the herbs of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return.
No doubt. Read that verse 20, then we jump.
Verse 20. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living.
Beautiful. Read that Genesis 4:1 for me.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 1.
Come on.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
Right, because Cain mean like a possession or something like that. Now, trip out there. That's clear as day. Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived. And then Cain was birthed. If we are going back to the early in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and we saying that the fruit that she saw that was desirable to make one wise and was good for food, if we are saying that's when the serpent laid with her and she conceived and was pregnant with Cain, by the time she brought the fruit to Adam, she threw that thing on him and seduced him, and then he boned her too, and now she's mysteriously pregnant. She's mysteriously pregnant with 2 seeds from 2 different men. The definition of that is superfetation, but that has nothing to do with twinning. So in essence, now you got to call Abel and Cain twins to hold on to your doctrine, right? But then we get all the way down to Genesis 4:1, and after they were kicked out the garden is when Adam lay with his wife and she conceived, right? The serpent came at Eve in the garden, but she don't conceive and have a child, you feel me, till after they were put out the garden. Abel and Cain were not birthed in the garden. You feel me? Nor was she pregnant in the garden. When you get down to the end of Genesis 3, you see they were expelled out the garden. Then Adam and Eve laid with each other. She conceived and Cain came out. You see? Other than that, you had to say she was already pregnant when the Most High made fig leaves for her and everything. Go ahead, Al.
And same way like my brother is saying, it's the same thing with Joseph is the father. It's the same thing with her. We will ask them that try to say Joseph is the father will show me in the scripture, because we deal with the scripture where you will find Joseph actually laying with it. Same way here, same situation. All I need you to do is just show me in the scripture that he laid with her before, before Adam did. That's all we need you to do. Yeah. It's the same thing. That's why it's a lot of, well, this could have happened and that's could have happened and all these different things, instead of you having the fact to prove the case. Scripture, chapter and verse, all you have to do is go there. It says Satan laid with her. Same way like if with the Joseph is the father. Chapter and verse, we say it should say Joseph laid with her and she conceived and bare Yahushua.
No doubt.
It should say the same thing, but you have the same problem here as you have with Joseph as the father. They don't have the fact of the proof that we all know that you need to prove the case. The scripture that say it. Show me Yahweh said. Show me the Bible say you don't got it. So what do? You have to present a gang of different scenarios.
There you go. Yeah.
A gang of different scenarios to get my mind going off to say, well, it could be in there. The Bible don't say it, but it could be. That's how you get me on your doctrine. No. It's the same thing, bro. It's the same exact thing.
Exactly. Now, this right here next, before we get into Jubilees, I want to show y'all this right here out of the book of Flavius Josephus. All right, this is the next one we're going to go to. That's the book of Jasher. We're going to go there in a minute, too. I see there's a brother on here still trying to hold on. Give it up, it's over.
Somebody trying to hold on.
He's trying to hold on. What's his brother's name? He's trying to hold on. Something.
Hey, hold on. Ask your question in a minute.
Yeah, he's trying to hold on. He banging. He thinking that he like,
hey,
no, I said,
got
you. Yeah. The ratter in Washington. You trying to hold on, man. I feel you. Man, but as you keep going, the whole thing unravels. Right? Then we're going to get into what it is to be. You understand? And again, I ain't saying she wasn't seduced. She wasn't mocked. I ain't saying none of that. You understand? We should all know that seduction happens in the mind before it happens in the flesh. Yeah, and when you're done talking, we were seduced. We were seduced into going against the Most High. It's spiritual fornication. What is this on here? Yeah, pop-ups in my copy. I don't feel like entering my email address. All right, eggs out. What is it? Things we used to do. All right, hold on one second, y'all. I don't know what these heathens. I mean, this should be easy as getting it up off our thing. I don't want to download nothing. On somewhere with that, man. All right, Flavius Josephus. Why is this heathen on it like that?
Your heathen gotta be around.
I know, but I'm saying like this thing
gotta be around. I gotta monitor you niggas. Even when they gave the Bible back to us, we still gotta have y'all monitored. Now we got the real truth, and they not gonna have us monitored. Oh no, that's crazy.
They in my way now because I'm trying to. Oh man, I don't want to do that. Y'all get up off my stuff.
We rebuke you, heathens.
How do I get
this? The name of Yahweh.
Get off this open image. I don't want to do none of that. I'm just trying to get up out of here so I can read my thing, man. What is y'all doing? Let's see. Man, He's heathens, man. All right, man. Let me hit this. I want to hit that Josephus deal in my way.
Man's going some yo hey why. It's all good with us.
All right, go to Joshua. Joshua 1:7-16 first.
All right.
And then we'll get into the Jubilees. I'll come back to there as a last reference. All right. Joshua chapter 1 is up on the board right now. Joshua chapter 1, we're gonna read 7-16.
Joshua chapter 1, verse 7.
Yeah.
And the Lord Yahweh took Adam and his wife and placed them in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And he commanded them and said unto them, from every tree of the garden ye may eat, but from the tree.
I'm not bad out. I'm sure. Where you at? Okay. All right, make this deal a little. Let me make it a little smaller for you, priest.
Oh, all
right, where you at? Can you see all that? No, you can't. That's that big old TV. You looking up on the TV? That's what that is. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't see though.
TV. They can't. Let them just see. All
right, go ahead.
I'll read the book.
It's right here.
Okay, bet. I got it. I'll do this. All good. We all want to accord now. Bet. All good now, brother. Where we at? I'm gonna start all the way over for this one.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh took Adam and his wife and placed them in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And he commanded them and said unto them, from every tree of the garden you may eat, but from the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat thereof, you shall surely die. And when Yahweh had blessed and commanded them, you hear that? And commanded them, he went from them. And Adam and his wife dwelt in the garden according to the commandment which the Lord Yahweh had commanded them.
Verse 9.
And the serpent which Yahweh had commanded with them in the earth. My baby, read that over. And the serpent, and the serpent which Yahweh had created with them in the earth came to them to incite them to transgress the command of Yahweh, which had he commanded them. Verse 10. And the serpent enticed and pursued the woman.
And persuaded the woman.
And persuaded the woman to eat from the tree of knowledge. And the woman hearkened to the voice of the serpent. And she transgressed the word of Yahweh and took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And she ate, and she took from it and gave also to her husband, and he ate.
Come on.
And Adam, his wife, and Adam and his wife transgressed the commandments of Yahweh, which he commanded them, and Yah knew it, and his anger was kindled against them, and he cursed them. And the Lord Yah drove them that day from the Garden of Eden.
You got to be saying that she already pregnant, you feel me, with Cain and Abel at this point, right? That she can, so she conceived them inside paradise. That's what you would have to be saying. That she conceived them inside paradise, or were they driven outside the garden, and then Adam knew Eve? You feel me? Go ahead. Let's get it.
Verse 12 again. It's saying the Lord Yah drove them that day from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which they were taken. And they went and dwelled at the east of the Garden of Eden. And Adam knew his wife Eve.
Right.
And she bore 2 sons and 3 daughters.
Okay. And I trip off this, Radar in Washington, we about to give you the timeline. And once we give you the timeline out of the book of Jubilees, it's impossible. It'll be an impossibility for Cain to be the biological son of the serpent. Again, we're going to go into why men are evil. A lot of righteous men in the Bible had evil sons. Samuel had evil sons. Eli had evil sons. You understand? Aaron had evil sons. Many men, righteous men in the Bible had evil sons. All right? We're going to go into it. We're going to go into it and we're going to see. And just because you come out the same womb don't make you a twin. Stop it. You got brothers and sisters. All y'all not twins. Come on, Doc, let's get it.
Verse 13.
So we read in this account 2 sons and 3 daughters, right? Go ahead.
Verse 13. And she called the name of the firstborn Cain.
Trip off that. So Cain is being subscribed to as Adam's son. This is in the book of Joshua. All right. We're going to read every account. Even in Genesis 4, Cain is referred to as Adam's son. Adam knew Eve and she conceived and brought forth Cain. You see?
You can't duck that, bro.
There ain't no ducking it. You got Genesis 4. We got Joshua chapter 1. All right. Come on out. Let's get it.
Boy, that 12 is a head buster. Verse 13. And she called the name of the firstborn Cain, saying, I have obtained a man from the Lord Yah. And the name of the other she called Abel. For she said, in vanity we came into the earth, and in vanity we shall be taken from it. And the boys grew up, and their fathers gave them a possession in the land.
And their father gave them a possession in the land.
We got problems.
Their father. Their fathers. Who was their? So that's saying Cain and Abel got the same father. You can't say that Abel's father was the serpent as well. Is that what you saying?
Expound.
Cain and Abel got the same daddy, same father. Ooh-wee. All right. And the boys grew up, and their father gave them a possession in the land. Come on, Hebrew.
And just for edification's sake, the brother that's online, that's bucking, as well as the ones that teach this, bring some type of facts. We are bringing facts. These are facts and evidence we are reading out right here clearly for us to see. Show us some type of evidence that we can go and research.
Man, look, we already showed you the origin of it and showed you it's rooted in white supremacy here in America. And even before that, going back to 180 AD, this was the topic. Who was Cain's father? But the proponents here in America, while you was getting your back whipped, are heathens. They the ones that teach that. They the ones that teach that. You feel me? If you want to know why something can go down sexually, mentally, you understand, you be affected physically. Men done had wet dreams before. You just sat back and had a vision in your head at night and woke up in the morning and that deal done blew. And you got to get up and go take your bath or wash yourself up and all type of stuff, man. You feel me? Because you already committed to act in your mind. Hence, the Most High making them cover up their private parts. You see, we ain't saying she wasn't seduced. You feel me? But the seduction talk on the other side is saying from that seduction, Cain was implanted in her.
Right.
And we not seeing that. It's not in the scripture.
It's not in the scripture, and that's what we saying, bro. And that's what we're producing evidence where you see that. It said, verse 14, and the boys grew up, and I read English, brother, and their father gave them a possession in the land. You can't find. So back to Joseph, not to bring that up too much, but it's the same tactic. You don't have the physical proof to show we can read it, so you have to do the manipulation, different scenarios, because you can't do this what we doing. Verse 14, and the boys grew up, and their fathers gave them a possession in the land, and Cain was a tiller of the ground, and Abel a keeper of sheep. And it was at expiration of a few years that they brought in approximate offering to the Lord Yah. And Cain brought from the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought from the furlings of his flock from the fat thereof.
All right, so you see what happened. Cain brought crops. Cain brought crops, and Abel brought the firstlings of his flock. I get together. And Cain brought the firstlings of, Abel brought the firstlings of his flock. All right, let's keep reading.
Beautiful thing. Verse 16. Verse 16.
No, I finished 15.
Yeah, I finished 15. Okay. And it's saying, Cain brought forth the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought first the firstling of his flock from the fat thereof. And the Lord Yah turned and inclined to Abel, and his offering.
Meaning he respected Abel's offering. Go ahead,
And a fire came down from the Lord Yah from heaven and consumed it.
And Most High was very well pleased with the firstlings of his flock, which is a burnt offering. All right, go ahead,
And unto Cain and his offering, the Lord Yah did not turn, and he did not incline to it, for he had brought from the inferior fruit of the ground before the Lord Yah. And Cain was jealous against his brother Abel on the account of this, and he sought a pretext to slay him.
That's it right there. So you trip. But now we get a deeper understanding to what Cain actually brought. He brought inferior fruit.
The best.
When you are offering to the Most High, even when it's from your first fruits or whatever, that's why it's called first fruits. It's the best part of the crop, the first fruits that are ripe and ready to be harvested. That's what you get the Most High, not no inferior fruit of the ground, like you're going to give him some spoiled fruit or something like that. Most High didn't respect that, but he respected, you understand, he respected Abel's sacrifice. And through that, Cain became jealous, and he sought a pretext to slay his brother. Y'all get some understanding thus far? But what we know thus far is that his father, both of their fathers is Adam. All right. Now, the brother online was asking about a timeline. I'm glad you asked, bro.
And that's out of the book of Joshua. So we know two witnesses in the Bible say you learn out of the book of Joshua. So we pulled in the book of Joshua where it say their father. So you have to bring some type of evidence on your side to say Satan did him and Adam did Abel. It's not there, bro.
No, it ain't gonna be there. Then look, you just asked. You just asked for the timeline. You just asked for the timeline, bro. After we read this Jubilees, you understand, which is called Little Genesis, which is broken up into weeks, right? Each day for a year, 7 days or a week equals 7 years. All right. After 7 groups of those weeks go around, that's 49 years. The next year is a Jubilee, is the 50th year. Right? And that law is found in the Bible, Leviticus, the 25th chapter. So we'll get into that too. But what I want to read real quick right here is Jubilees 1. We're going to read 1 through 8 to show y'all how history is recorded dealing with the scriptures. Let me make it a little bigger for you. Y'all.
I'm good.
All right.
Long as they good, I'm good.
How y'all look on there? Is that big enough for y'all? All right. Start right there. This is the history, and then we're going to get down. We're going to read down to verse 8, and then we're going to get into chapter 3. And get deeper detail.
This is the history of the.
You got to show Cain was cursed with white skin. You got to show that scripture. I ain't read that. You know what I'm saying? The mark of Cain. That's what it say. Now, if you can show that's pale skin, then come on with it. All right. So let's get her done. All right.
This is the history of the division of the days of the law and of the testimony, of the events of the years.
This is the history of the world, basically. From the beginning when the Most High created everything or whatever, on down to what's going to happen in the future. This is the book of Jubilees. All right, go ahead, Al.
Of their years, weeks, of their Jubilees throughout all the years of the world. As the Lord Yah spake to Moses on the Mount Sinai when he went up to receive the table of the law and of the commandments, according to the voice of Yah, as he said unto him, go up to the top of the mountain.
Now trip off this right here. You asked for the time. You asked for it, but now you got it. You asked for it, You know what I'm saying? That ain't going into the timeline. All right. Again, you assuming. Don't ask me what the mark is. Go show the scriptures that the mark of Cain is pale skin. We see leprosy, you dig? But again, if you're gonna say the mark of Cain is pale skin, you gotta show that. You just gotta show it. You feel me? How you know it wasn't a purple ball? Boils mark your skin too. I mean, just be real with yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Does it say it? And if it don't say it, then guess what you might be doing? Reaching. And that's something you don't want to get caught slipping in your studies.
Yeah.
You don't want to get caught with your flank open trying to paint a picture for somebody and the scriptures clearly go against what it is. All right? Right here, verse 1. What does it say?
Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Verse 1. And it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Israel out of Egypt, in the 3rd month of the 16th day of the month, 2450 anno medium.
Yeah, so it's going into basically 2,450 years since the creation of Adam. All right, go ahead.
That the Lord Yah spake to Moses, saying, come up to me on the mount, and I will give thee 2 tables of stone of the law. Oh, beautiful boy. And I will give thee 2 tables of stone of the law and of the commandments, which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses went up into the mount of the Lord Yah, and the glory of the Lord Yah abode on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it 6 days.
Come on.
And he called to Moses on the 7th day out of the midst of the cloud. And the appearance of the glory of the Lord Yah was like a flaming fire on the top of the mountain.
Ooh, so the whole mountain was on fire. The whole mountain range was on fire. Beautiful. Go ahead,
Verse 4. And Moses was on the mount 40 days and 40 nights.
Come on.
And the Lord Yah taught him the earlier and the later history of the divisions of all the days of the law and of a testimony.
Most High didn't just give Moses 10 commandments while he was up there 40 days and 40 nights. He taught him the past, present, and future of what was going to happen on the Most High's creation, which is his earth. See, it didn't take the Most High 40 days and 40 nights to give Moses 10 commandments. There was a lot of other things that went down, such as the designing of the Ark of the Covenant, the designing of the tabernacle, you know what I'm saying, the priestly garments and what they had to put on, the vessels for the temple. All that was going on. Moses saw all that, including the history of the world, past, present, and future. All right, so you asked for the timeline of when Adam and Eve was born, from when the serpent first came at Eve, down to when Cain, Abel, and even other siblings were even born. You asked for it, how can we gonna give it to you? For y'all that don't know, get this Jubilees. It's gonna give you, I'm talking about, it's gonna give you the dates from Adam, the time from since Adam was created on down. And when you start adding up some of them, you're gonna be like, wow, that they just say it in the scripture. For instance, how Adam was 130 years old when he begot Seth. It say 1:30 a.m. right here in the scriptures. Yeah, meaning 130 years since the creation of Adam. Wow. All right, go ahead.
Verse 5. And he said, incline thy heart to every word which I speak to thee on this mount, and write them in a book, in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them for all the evil which they have wrought and transgressed the covenant which I established between me and thee for their generations this day on the Mount Sinai.
So he told them not only about the commandments, but told them, look, write everything, this whole history of it, write this in the book too. This is that book of Jubilee. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
And do thou write for thy sake all these words which I declared unto thee this day. For I know their rebellion and their stiff neck before I bring them into the land of which I swore to their fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob, saying, unto your seeds will I give a land flowing with milk and honey, and they will eat and shall sanctify and satisfy, and they will turn to strange gods, to gods which cannot deliver them from out of their tribulation, and this witness shall be heard for a witness against them. For they will forget all my commandments, even all that I command them, and they will walk after the Gentiles and after their uncleanness, and after their shame, and will serve their gods. Wow. And these will prove unto them, and after their shame, I will. Let me start that over.
And after their shame, and will serve their gods.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah. And after their shame,
scroll up.
Yeah, you right. Yeah, you right. You gotta scroll it up. All good, all good. Right. I'm in Ur. And there will prove unto them an offering, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. Verse 9.
That's it for that. All right, look, we're going to jump over to chapter 3. Just like in Genesis 3, it goes into the serpent. All right, let's go over to Jubilees chapter 3. This is little Genesis. Genesis got 50 chapters. Jubilees got 50 chapters. Each chapter almost line up word for word with the scripture, but it gives deeper and deeper understandings on it. All right. Now trip off this right here. Let's get on down to verse 15. All right. Right here. We got Jasher or Jubilees, forgive me, chapter 3. We're going to start at verse 14. Read on down to 35, my brother. Let's get it. You asked for the time,
let's get it. Verse 15.
Nah, I ain't saying none of that again. Ak, you keep assuming. Why don't you just sit down, be quiet, and stop typing and learn something? I ain't said nothing about Adam is more precious than our Messiah. Stop putting words in our mouth. You feel me? I'm talking this book right here going to give you the timeline from when Adam was created and all the events that we read about in these scriptures, from when Noah built the ark, when Cain and Abel were born. So don't run now. You asked for the timeline. You asked for it. Now we about to get into it. Now it's a problem. Stop running, man. Just sit back and take notes. We done already been through that doctrine. We used to believe it. Until further scrutiny came in. So stop it. Stop it. You ain't dealing with brothers that ain't that. We used to believe that. Because that's what was taught. All right, so let's get this right here, man. Jubilees 3, 14 on down. Let's get it done.
Jubilees chapter 3, verse 14. This is the law and testimony, which was written down for Israel in order that they should observe it all the days. And in the first week of the Jubilees,
verse 15, yeah.
He say verse 15, and in the first week of the first Jubilee, Adam and his wife were in the Garden of Eden for 7 years, tilling and keeping it. And we gave him work, and we instructed him to do everything that is suitable for tilling.
Now, trip off this. Notice it saying the first week of the Jubilee, right? And then it went how Adam and Eve were in the garden for 7 years. That right there show you how Jubilees is measuring time. Each day is a year. All right. 1 week of 7 days equals 7 years. You say it right there in verse 15. Now, for anybody that thought that's like, man, that's crazy talk. What the hell y'all talking about each day for a year? That's actually mentioned in the Bible. If you go ahead and grab this for me just real quick. Read this up on the screen. Numbers. All right, Numbers 14, 30 through 34. Watch this. Numbers 14, 30 through 34, each day for a year. Jubilees is measuring things Every 7 days is 7 years. All right. 7 of those phases go by. That's 49 years. The next year is a Jubilee year called year 50. We do the same thing when we count for Pentecost after Passover. All right. So when it says the first week and then it went from 1 to 7, that was 7 years. All right. So for 7 years, Adam and Eve are in the garden tilling and keeping it. All right. So we're going to go show when the serpent first came at Eve, and then when Cain was born, and then when Abel was born, and you tell me if it add up. All right. Numbers 14, 30 to 34 to show each day for a year in prophetic time. Let's get it.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 30.
Numbers 14, 30 to 34. Go ahead.
Doubtless ye shall not come into the land,
Mm-hmm.
which I swear to make you dwell therein,
Mm-hmm.
save Cal and son of
Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, right? And Joshua. Go ahead.
son of Nun,
Uh-huh.
but your little ones, which ye said should be a prey.
Mm.
Them will I bring in.
Mm.
You hear that? Them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which have despised, which ye shall despise.
But you have despised. In other words, the young generation gonna get it. You feel me? That's why it's important not to get old and brick-headed.
It's giants in the land.
Right. Verse 32, what did it say?
But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness.
Yeah.
And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years and burn your whoredoms until your carcasses be waste in the wilderness after the number of the days which ye search the land. 40 days, each day for a year.
Each day for a year, because the spies went out and searched the land, was gone for 40 days, like Moses was gone for 40 days. But the Most High said, no, I ain't talking about a month and 10 days. Because y'all doubting that I told y'all this is the promise I gave Abraham. Each day will equal a year. Each day for a year. Jubilees, the book of Jubilees is written, the chronological order in Jubilees, the history of the world is written from that perspective. Each day for a year, 7 days or a week actually equals 7 years. Right? And this right here is in the Torah with numbers, right? Go ahead, Doc.
Shall ye bear your iniquity?
Yeah.
Even 40 years?
Yeah.
And ye shall know my breach of promise.
Yeah, know my breach of promise, right? Second witness, Ezekiel 4, 1 through 6. Just to show y'all each day for a year. Right? So now when we read this Jubilees and it's telling you they was in the garden the first week, but then it told you that week equals 7 years. Well, the only way a week can equal 7 years or 7 days can equal 7 years is if each day equal 1 year. Make sense? All right, Ezekiel 4, 1 through 6. Watch this.
Ezekiel 4, verse 1.
Yeah.
Thou also, son of man, take thee a till and lay it before thee, and poultry upon it the city, Jerusalem, and lay siege against it, and build a fort against it, and cast a mount against it. Set the camp also against it, and set rams against it round about.
So basically, he just told Ezekiel the prophet, man, draw Jerusalem out on the tile, you know what I'm saying, and act like it's being besieged. Draw battering rams and do all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a similitude on how Jerusalem gonna go down for its evil that it has done against its God. All right, go ahead.
Moreover,
take
thou unto thee an iron pan, and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city, and set thee face against it, and it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be a sign to the house of Israel. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay thy iniquity on the house of Israel appointed, according to the number of days that thou shalt lie upon it. Thou shalt bear their iniquity. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity, according to the number of days, 390 days. So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on the right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee every day for a year.
Each day for a year.
Each day. I have appointed thee each day for a year.
So y'all see that right there? So in this instance right here and in the book of Jubilees, it's going into each day being a year or a week being 7 years. Right here, your boy Nick right there, day with the Lord is 1,000 years. That's another situation too in the scriptures to tell you that in Psalms 90 and 10, 1 Peter, 2 Peter 3 and 8, you know, same thing. But in these situations, each day ain't 1,000 years. Each day is a year. What we reading that's on the board right here. All right. So trip off this right here. Trip out this right here. All right.
We in verse 16.
We in verse 16. All right. So read that verse 15 again.
Oh, no doubt. I started 14. You want me to?
15, cool. 15, cool. Go ahead, Al.
And in the first week of the first Jubilees, Adam and his wife were in the Garden of Eden for 7 years, tilling and keeping it. And we gave him work, and we instructed him to do everything that is suitable for tilling.
Yeah.
You know, and just the idea said we.
Yeah,
we don't talk about that. That's another topic.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's another topic.
Remember, Moses in the mount for 40 days and 40 nights. He's fasting, and he's also receiving the oracles of the Most High. You know, designs of temples and all that, and also the history of the worlds. But a good point he just brought out is saying we. You feel me? Just like if we would have kept reading that Genesis 3, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. But there's a whole nother topic. You understand?
Shots fired at you non-messianics. I ain't through with y'all.
That's right. Come on, Hebrew, let's get it.
Verse 16. And he tilled the garden and was naked and knew it not and was not ashamed. And he protected the garden from the birds and the beasts and cattle and gathered its fruit and eat it and put aside the residue for himself and his wife, and put aside that which was being kept.
Being kept to being guarded. So we see all that was happening for 7 years. When you read the story in Genesis chapter 2 and chapter 3, if you don't got to understand, you think this happened yesterday. Yeah. You think it happened yesterday, and then you feel me, it was over today. But this was a whole period of 7 years. This before the serpent ever came at Eve. A whole 7 years it went by. You feel me? Since Adam's creation. 7 years. All right, verse 17.
And you got to look at verse 16. It said, and was naked and knew it not. Now, we know there wasn't no clothes action because you finna be working. No draws, nothing. 7 years. Just another little fact. It's so much to eat off of. That's why me and my brother Maccabee is colliding. But I'm finna just sit back and let this brother go.
Okay.
Because there's so much facts, bro.
Right. Come on. And then verse 17. Go ahead.
17. And after the completion of 7 years, which he had completed there, 7 years exactly.
Now remember, these 7 years are 1 week. All right. Each day for a year. 7 years exactly. 1 week that went by. Go ahead.
And in the
notice it says 8 a.m. So we done with the first week. Now we on day 1 of the second week. It's 8 a.m. Day 8. There's only 7 days in 1 week. All right. 8 a.m. Beginning of the 8th year. Go ahead.
And in the second month of the 17th day of the month, the serpent came and approached the woman.
So this is 8 years in since Adam's creation. What we read in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, that was 8 years after the creation of Adam. Y'all see that? Come on. This is when the serpent came at the woman. So for those that's claiming that the serpent is the biological son of Cain, this is when Eve should have been getting impregnated by the serpent right here. Came and approached the woman. Go ahead.
And the serpent said unto the woman, have Yah commanded you, saying, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden.
Sound familiar? We just read this in Genesis 3, right? So for those that's claiming that the enemy is Cain's father, then you would have to say that this fruit that was offered that she saw was wise and good for the eyes and good for food. You would have to say that that fruit was the fruit of Satan's loins. Huh? And then that same fruit of Satan's loins was given to Adam. And he partook of that same fruit. Oh, that's a dangerous doctrine right there, man. That's very, very dangerous. That's very dangerous. Come on, Hebrew.
And she said to it, of all the fruit of the tree of the garden, Yahweh hath said unto us, eat. But of the fruit of the tree of which is, my bad, it says, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah hath said to us, ye shall not eat thereof, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Y'all see why they call this little Genesis. It's the same thing in Genesis 3. We in Jubilees 3 now. Same thing. Come on, Hebrew.
And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For Yah does know that on the day ye shall eat thereof, your eyes shall be open, and ye will be as gods, and ye shall know good and evil. And the woman saw the tree, that it was agreeable and pleasant to the eye.
Same thing we read in Genesis 3. Go ahead.
And that its fruit was good for food, and she took thereof and ate. And when she ate, let me start that over. Verse 21. And when she had first covered her shame with fig leaves, she gave thereof to Adam. We got a problem. And when she had first covered her shame with fig leaves, she gave thereof to Adam, and he ate. And his eyes were open, and he saw that he was naked. And he took fig leaves and sewed them together, and made an apron for himself, and covered his shame. And Yah cursed the serpent, and was wroth with it forever.
Come on.
And he was wroth with the woman, because she did hearken to the voice of the serpent, and did eat, and said unto the woman, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy pain. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy return shall be unto thy husband, and he will rule over thee.
That's Genesis 3 and 16. Y'all see it's saying the same thing. Even if some of the words are being used, it's still saying the same thing. All right, go ahead, Doc.
And to Adam also he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee that thou shalt not eat thereof, cursed it be the ground for thy sake. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat thy bread in the sweat of thy face, till thou returnest to the earth. From this thou wast taken, for earth thou art, and unto earth shalt thou return.
Verse 26.
Verse 26. And he made for this coats of skin.
For them coats of skin. Right, go ahead.
And clothe them, and set them forth from the Garden of Eden.
So are you saying that she's pregnant now? Is she pregnant now with, with Cain and Abel? Right? Did she conceive in the garden or after the garden? Once they were put out? That's the question. Because at this point, once they've been discovered that they didn't already partook, you would have to be saying she's already pregnant. Ooh-wee. The plot thickens. Keep going.
Beautiful. Verse 26 again. And he had made them coats of skin, and clothed them, and set them forth from the Garden of Eden. And on that day of which Adam went forth from the garden, he offered as a sweet savoring of offering, frankincense,
galbanum, and stacte,
and spices in the morning with the rising of the sun from the day which he covered his shame. Verse 28. And on that day was closed the mouth of all beasts, and of cattle, and of bird, and of whatsoever walk, and of whatsoever move, and of whatever move, so that they could not no longer speak. Wow. Them are the points that I'm trying to pull out. My brother Mac be like, I got some point to prove. But y'all catching all these tidbits. So if you slow down, read like I'm not doing right now, you catch all the morsels and fruit that we.
Yeah, I'm about to expound on this.
No doubt. Let me keep pushing. Though. Yeah. It says, for they had all spoken one with another with one lip and with one tongue. Verse 29.
Do y'all understand what this just was read right there? It said on verse 28, on that day was closed the mouth of all beasts and of cattle and of birds and of whatever walks and of whatever moves, so they could no longer speak. For they had all spoken one with another with one lip and with one tongue, even the Most High's creation, the beasts, the cattle, all of it, man.
Say lie. You understand what that means.
All right, 29, right? Go ahead.
Verse 29. And he sent out of the Garden of Eden all flesh that was in the garden, and all flesh was scattered according to its kinds and according to its type unto the place which he had been created for them.
Verse 30.
Verse 30. And to Adam also did he give.
And to Adam alone.
And to Adam alone did he give the wherewith to cover his shame of all the beasts of the cattle. On this account, it is prescribed on the heavenly tables as touching all those who know the judgment of the law, that they should cover their shame and should not uncover themselves as the Gentiles uncover themselves.
And you see that? Even from then, we were always dictated and commanded to have a dress code and cover ourselves. We're not supposed to be out here lewd and shameless like we see a lot of our women today. I get on Instagram and just see nothing but nakedness and evil. You feel me? That's Gentile way of thinking. It's Gentile minded. It's a Gentile culture. We're supposed to cover ourselves and dress decent. Go ahead,
Verse 32.
Yeah.
And on the new moon of the 4th month, Adam and his wife went forth from the garden, and they dwelt in the land of Edom, in the land their creation. And Adam called the name of his wife Eve. Verse 34.
Go ahead.
Okay. And they had no son.
And they what?
And they had no son to the first Jubilee, 8 a.m. And after this, he knew her.
After that, he knew her. After Satan came at her. After that is when, you feel me, Adam knew her. Go ahead,
Now he tilled the land as he had been instructed in the Garden of Eden.
Now right here is chapter 4, verse 1. Remember we read Genesis 4:1 about Adam knowing Eve, and then Cain came out? Brother asked for the timeline, right? Now don't forget that a week is 7 days. Okay? 7 days equals 7 years in Jubilees. 7 of these weeks go by, you got 49 weeks. The next week will give you what? 50. Our whole Jubilee is 50 years. Now we in Jubilees 4 and 1, and it says in the 3rd week in the 2nd Jubilee. All right, so if one Jubilee is 50 years, right? Now it says we in the 3rd week of the 2nd Jubilee. Well, 1 week is 7 years. 2 weeks is 14 years. 3 weeks is what? 21 years, right? But first Jubilee already went by. So that's 50 plus 21 puts us somewhere between 64 to 70 years since Adam was created. Read it right there, chapter 4 and 1.
Chapter 4, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the third week, the second Jubilee, she gave birth.
It says 64 through 70. Whenever y'all see them numbers in the book of Jubilees, those numbers are going from the creation of Adam until this certain event right here. So when you see 64 through 70 AM, that's letting you know between 64 years and 70 years since Adam was created, she gave birth to Cain. 64 to 70 years. Now the serpent first came at Eve after 7 years. You see that? After 7 years, when we went back to Jubilees chapter 3 and verse 15, it lets you know that the serpent first came at Eve after that first week or that first 7 years after her and Adam was in the garden, tilling the garden. The serpent came at her during the 8th week, or the 8th day, should I say, which is 8 years. Cain wasn't even birthed until 64 years after Adam was created. So in essence, you saying that Eve was pregnant for 60-some years? Hell, if we take the low number, 64 minus 8 is what? 56. You saying Eve was pregnant for 56 years? With Satan's seed in her. It ain't making sense once you just start lining it up, man. Notice that Genesis 4 and 1 and Jubilees 4 and 1, bro, you asked for the timeline on here. When they was birthed. When in the book of Jubilees, when you see them numbers in parentheses, it's going from the birth of Adam, from when Adam was created. Right? When we go back to chapter 3, let me go back to chapter 3 and show. We're going to see the difference. Remember that 64 to 70 years. Notice that's a 7-year period. You're 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Wow. During that week was when Cain was born. During that 7-year period was when Cain was born. Let's go back to chapter 3 and see when the serpent first came at Eve. It ain't hard. See, Jubilees give you the time. All right, Genesis 3, right here. Let's get into it again. Verse 15. All right.
Verse 15. And in the first.
Read 17.
17.
Yep.
And after the completion of 7 years, which he had completed there, 7 years exactly.
7 years exactly.
8 a.m., meaning 8 years.
Since the creation of Adam. 8 years. Go ahead.
And in the second month of the 17th day of the month, the serpent came and approached the woman, and the serpent said unto the woman, have Yah commanded you, saying, ye shall not eat of the tree of the garden?
Now trip off this. That's the very event that Eve partook in, that most that say that Satan is Cain's father, you say she got pregnant then. That's 8 years since Adam's creation is when the serpent first came at Eve. All right. Well, Cain wasn't born, y'all. Let's go over to chapter 4. Cain wasn't born until sometime in the week of 64, between 64 and 70 years from the time Adam was created. Brother, you're saying that she was pregnant for 50 plus years.
That's impossible.
That's impossible. Now trip off this. That's when Cain was born, right? Go ahead, Hebrew. And in the 4th.
Oh, yeah,
so now whoever holding on to that, guess what you got to do? You got to let that go, because everybody on here know that it's impossible for somebody to be pregnant 50 plus years. Stop it. Start at that verse 1 again, my brother.
Verse 1. And in the third week of the second Jubilee, 6470 AD, she gave birth to Cain. And in the 4th, 7177.
See, so in the 4th week, notice it say in the 3rd week, right? And in the 3rd week in the second Jubilee, she gave what? Birth to Cain. So 50 years and went by, and then guess what? 14 years and went by. Now they somewhere within that 3rd week, which will be at the completion of that will be 21 more years. You talking about 50 plus 14 get you what? 64. Don't it?
Mm-hmm.
50 plus 14 get you 64. It says, and in the third week, in the second Jubilee, that's the first Jubilee is 50 years, right? We only in the third week. That means 2 weeks done went by, 14 more years, which is 64. Another week completed, that'll give you 70 years. That's when Cain was born, in the third week of the second Jubilee, which is somewhere between 64 to 70 years since the creation of Adam. She gave birth to Cain, and in the fourth week of the second Jubilee, go ahead, which is 71 through 77 years,
she gave birth to Abel.
Now, hold on. That means Abel and Cain are 7 years apart. Look at the low number, 64 and 71. Ain't that 7 years? Look at the high number, 70 and 77. Ain't that 7 years? Cain and Abel were born 7 years apart, man. How were they twins? How were they twins? All of it started unraveling. Go ahead, Hebrew.
She gave birth to Abel, and in the fifth, 7-8, 8-4 a.m., she gave birth to her daughter, Awan.
So the daughter was born within the fifth week of the second Jubilee, which was sometime between 78 years and 84 years since the creation of Adam. Do y'all see that? Cain, Abel, and their sister Awan were all born 7 years apart. Do y'all see that? Now, the serpent first came at Eve in the 8th year since Adam's creation. You feel me? Offered her the fruit. She partook. She came to her husband. He partook too. But she didn't give birth until 50 plus years later. So she had Satan's seed in her for 50 plus years. Y'all know good and well none of that makes sense. None of that makes sense. And to show y'all how real this is, right? Let me show y'all how real this get. Trip off when Seth was born. Trip off when Seth was born. All right. Read that verse 7.
Verse 7. And Adam and his wife mourned for Abel 4 weeks of years.
Wow, man. 4 weeks. That mean they mourned for him a very long time. You're talking about 28 years. 4 weeks of years. Remember, each week is what? 7 years. 7 times 4 will be 28. 99 to 127 get you 28 years. All right, go ahead.
And in the 4th year of the 50th week.
Of the 5th week.
Of the 5th week, 1:30 a.m.
130, 130 years since Adam been created. Meaning Adam is 130 years old, right? Go ahead.
They became joyful. And Adam knew his wife again. And she bare him a son.
Yeah.
And he called his name Seth.
Called his name who?
Seth.
Come on.
For he said, Yahweh has raised up a second seed unto us on the earth instead of Abel.
Meaning Seth took Abel's spot because Abel is the only son of Adam who wasn't able to bring forth seed. So Seth was raised up in his spot after Cain slew him. All right, go ahead.
That's it unto us.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Adam and Eve talking, right? On the earth instead of Abel for Cain, right? Unto us.
Unto us.
Yeah, unto us. Right? And it said right there, and for Cain had slew him, right? Now notice the 130 a.m., right? Let's go to Genesis 5. Let's show you how it line up. Let's show you how it line up. Let's go to Genesis 5, right? Verse 1 through 3. What it say?
Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generation of Adam. In the day that Yahweh created man, in the likeness of Yah made he him, male and female, created he them, and blessed them, and called their names Adam in the day when they were created. Verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years.
Adam lived a who?
130 years.
Yeah.
And beget a son in his own likeness, after his image. and called his name Seth.
So this line right up with Jubilees. Read that verse 7 right here in Jubilees.
Verse 7. And Adam and his wife mourned for Abel 4 weeks of years.
In 28 years, they mourned for their son because their son was murdered by his brother. Go ahead.
99 and 120
to 127.
To 127.
Which is 28 years. Showing you that this thing each week is 7 years. It's showing you that. 7 times 4 is 28. Go ahead.
And in the 4th year of the 5th week, 130, they became joyful. And Adam knew his wife again. And she bare him a son. And he called his name Seth. For he said, Yah has raised up a second seed. A second seed unto us on the earth instead of Abel. For Cain slew him.
So y'all seeing the 130 adding right up with Genesis 5. That Adam was 130 years old when Seth came forth. That's showing you that the time frame in the parentheses in the book of Jubilees is based off the creation of Adam. Because Adam was 130 when Seth was born, right? It say the same thing in Jubilees 7, 1:30 a.m. So that's showing you that the parentheses, the time frame in the parentheses, you feel me, is right in Jubilees. Because it say the same thing in Genesis, the 5th chapter. I pray y'all got some understanding on that thus far. If y'all got some understanding, go ahead and throw a 7 up in here.
Don't throw that 7, old boy, whoever you is.
All right, it's all good. So what's the brother name? You can't hold on to them being twins anymore. First admit that. You can't hold on to them being twins anymore. They were born 7 years apart from the time Satan came at Eve, which was 8 years from Adam's creation. By the time she got pregnant, it was 64 years since Adam had been created. You feel me? 64 minus 8 get you 56. So what, she was pregnant? Again, I'm going to ask you. Was she pregnant 56 years? Right? We ain't read that yet to prove that they were twins. So your twin theory is false. The fact that Cain's father is Satan is false. We done read that in Jasher. We done read that in Jubilees. We even read it in the Bible, Genesis, the 4th chapter. You feel me? So what does it mean actually to be a son or a servant of the devil? It's easy work, man. We're gonna get back. We're gonna make sure we get back to it. All right. So we went and proved each day for a year also. So just certain things real quick, bring it to play. Also, this Josephus, hopefully this thing is going to buffer, man, because I really want to read this for y'all. And this is the Israelite historian Josephus. Why in the hell is this thing on here, man? That's what I might have to do. I might have to, you know, that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm just going bang, bang, bang. All right, what is this book? I really want to read that for y'all. Book 1, chapter 2, Flavius Josephus. Let me type this in real quick. Eggs, this nigga roll up out here. Bow. And even our historian, you understand? He even had an understanding on what it is. And he ain't doing nothing but vouching for everything that we read in these scriptures, man. Unless you can show me a woman being pregnant for 56 years. Can y'all sisters imagine being pregnant for 56 years? Book 1, chapter 2, Flavius Josephus, right? Book 1, chapter 2. All right, book 1. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. All right, so we're going to see real quick what this is all about. All right. Bring in Jasher. Jasher even called him their father. All right, let me get this. Let's read this before this thing pop back up on her. That was word. It's like the enemy purposely didn't want us to read that. All right, here it is, word, man. All right, it's going down for this thing. Pop back up. This right here is Flavius Josephus. This is by Adam and Eve. All right, let's read. We got even more. All right, go ahead and read that, V, bro.
Josephus, chapter 3, chapter 3, verse 1. Adam and Eve had 2 sons.
Adam and Eve.
Hey, bro, that's why I'm like, I'm gonna let you do you. But I'm study catching tidbits. Bro, you really don't want to pass that, but you're doing your thing.
Come on, we good, baby.
Adam and Eve had 2 sons. The elder of them was named Cain, which name, when it is interpreted, signifies a possession. The younger was Abel, which signified sorrow. They had also daughters.
They had also daughters?
With an S.
With an S. Go ahead.
Now the two brethren were pleased with differences, courses of life. For Abel the younger was a lover of righteousness and believed that Yah was present at all his actions. He excelled in virtue, and his employment was that of a shepherd.
See, so Abel was a shepherd, man. Knows the Most High accepted his sacrifice. He brought the firstlings of his flock, not spoiled fruit, to the Most High. All right, go ahead, Hebrew.
But Cain was not only very wicked in other respects, but was horribly intense upon getting. And he first contributed to plunge the ground, plunge the ground. He slew his brother on the occasion following. They had resolved to sacrifice to Yah. Now Cain brought the fruit of the earth and of his husbandry, but Abel brought milk and the first fruit. Hold up.
But Abel brought milk and the first fruits of his flock.
But Abel brought milk and the first fruits of his flock. Do your thing, because I was wrong. You wasn't, I was. But Yah was more delighted with the latter oblation, when he was honored with what grew naturally of its own accord, than he was with what was the invention of a covetous man. A covetous man. And gotten be forced the ground. By force the ground. Which it was that Cain was very angry that Abel was preferred by Yah before him.
No doubt.
And he slew his brother and hid his dead body, thinking to escape discovery. But Yah, knowing what he had been done, came to Cain and asked him what was become of his brother, because he had not seen of many days, whereas he used to observe them conversing together at other times. But Cain was in doubt with himself and knew not what answer to give Yah.
Yeah, so now just going into, you know what I'm saying, what happened when he slew him. But the whole point was right here, the beginning of Adam and Eve had two sons. The elder of them was named Cain, which name was, when it's interpreted, signifies possession. The younger was Abel, which signifies sorrow. They also had daughters. And then when you get into Genesis 5, it tell you that her conceptions were multiplied. And later on in the book of Josephus, they go into how many sons and daughters they had, man. They had like 30-some sons and 20-some daughters. You feel me? So all that's in play. But every situation we done went to, whether we talking about the book of Jubilees, Jasher, Genesis chapter 4, and even this right here, this Josephus. It's not saying that the serpent impregnated Eve. You understand? Yeah, she was seduced. Yeah, she was mocked. You understand? And she was seduced and she brought it to her husband. And he okay, baby, and he listened and he partook as well. But again, if that fruit that she partook of that allowed her to become pregnant was the fruit of the serpent's loins, the man that he emits fruit from his loins, if that is the fruit, you understand, then what does that make Adam? Because he partook of the same fruit. That would make Adam a sodomite. Oh yeah, that'll work out. That'll make Adam a sodomite. If the fruit that they partook in is the fruit of the serpent's loins, you understand? Which is when a man emits semen or whatever you're talking about, you understand? Then that will make, and Adam partook of the same fruit. What would that make Adam? That would make Adam a sodomite. The fruit was the fruit of wickedness, lies, and deception. That's what that was about. Wickedness, lies, and iniquity. You see what I'm saying? And what lie did he tell her? You ain't gonna die. Most High know what it is right there. right? So we went over the origin of this doctrine, where it come from. We was on Wikipedia earlier for some of y'all that's just now joining us. You understand? We went over Wikipedia earlier and we showed the origin of this whole little doctrine, where it come from. You know what I'm saying? The men that taught it, men like Wesley Smith and, you know what I'm saying, other men. Read that again real quick for y'all. And then we're going to go show what it means to be a so-called son of the devil. Right? Whenever you rebelling, the moral of the story is this. Whenever you rebelling against the Most High, you understand? Whenever you sinning, whenever you are consciously going against the Most High, that make you a son of the devil. That's what that is. You understand? And Cain had to understand what murder was because he wouldn't have been ashamed and hid his brother. That means the law of murder was taught to Adam. Adam had to teach it to his family. You see, so we can't say the law wasn't in the earth then. There had to be. Why did Cain try to bury Abel and hide him? How did he know he was wrong? You feel me? How did Adam and Eve know they was wrong? Once, you understand, the Most High asked them what it was. What they doing covering up with fig leaves? There's a lot of things that start unraveling. And again, once we put the timeline on it, you're saying Eve was pregnant for 56 years. Huh? 56 years from when the serpent came at Eve and offered her an alternative way of living. Right? If we hold on to the fact that, okay, well, the serpent is Cain's father, if we hold on to that, we also got to hold on to the fact, well, y'all, that means that Eve was pregnant for 56 years. And that means she conceived in paradise. You feel me? Did she conceive in the garden or outside the garden? I'm talking about biblically speaking, lost book speaking, whatever you're talking about. Where did Eve conceive? In the garden or outside the garden? Did she conceive after the fall of man? After they transgress or before? That's the question. You feel me? And a lot of you ain't gonna be able to hold on to that understanding that the serpent is Cain's father without answering that. And once we put the timeline to it, we know Jubilees got to be right because it said in Jubilees that Adam was 130 years. And it said in Genesis 5 that Adam was 130 years old when Seth was born. So now we know Jubilees is right because it lined right up with Genesis, the 5th chapter. Again, serpent seed is up on the board if y'all don't see it. Serpent seed. This is a doctrine, y'all. It's taught mainly by white supremacists who don't like no blacks and no quote unquote Jews. This is something that's propagated by your enemies to say that what? You the spawn of the devil. It's just like the Mormons. Don't the Mormons teach that we curse with black skin or brown skin? After what went down in Genesis, the 8th and 9th chapter? Yeah. Yeah. You don't even know the origin of what this is. And we're going to get a War Ready Wednesday popping on reincarnation. That's what's up, huh? We're going to get her done. All right. For the Christian concept of the seed of the serpent, seed of the woman. Serpent seed, dual seed, or 2 line, again, is a controversial religious belief, which explains the biblical account of the fall of man by saying that the serpent in the Garden of Eden mated with Eve. Notice he mated with her in the garden. That's what you would have to be saying if you saying Cain is father. And that's going to be a hard question. My main question would be, are you saying that she conceived Cain in the garden? That's question number 1. You want to stand down after that. No way, shape. There's no scripture to even vouch for that. You feel me? There's no scripture that vouch and say she conceived in the garden. So when she partook of the fruit, she conceived. Well, based off the timeline, 56 years had to go by at least before Cain was even born. And if that's the case, show me a woman, period, in any history being pregnant for 56 years. Hell, what? I'm talking about any doctrine, any culture. Show me that. What woman been pregnant for 56 years? All right. And that the offspring of their union was Cain. This appears in early Gnostic writings, such as the Gospel of Philip. This is where it comes from, y'all. Again, here in America, those that hold on to it, the earliest teachers can be found when we in slavery by these heathens who hated us, right? But if you want to go back to the ancient times, the Gospel of Philip, they call it a Gnostic writing, which ain't nowhere near divinely inspired. That's around 350 years, roughly 300 years after the Messiah. Some type of writing called the Gospel of Philip. This teaching was explicitly rejected as heresy by Irenaeus circa 180. So 180 years, even roughly 130 some years after the Messiah was dead, this teaching started floating around. One of the early church fathers and later by mainstream Christian theologians. And then they start naming some of these heathens. Y'all want to see some of them again? Here they go. These are the heathens in America that the earliest heathens in America that propagated this doctrine that these men still hold on to. Daniel Parker. Look at this heathen. Huh? From 1781 to 1844. Two seed. He founded a church called the Two Seed in the Spirit Presbyterian Baptist. Parker is one of the earliest documented proponents of the doctrine of serpent seed among Protestant Christianity. Here you go, right here. This is the guy right here in America that spawned this, that started teaching this. And notice the dates. You were still a slave. Ooh-wee. Let's look at some more of these heathens. Since y'all think we lying around here. See, it ain't like you mysteriously read the Bible. Somebody had to plant that in your mind that this was possible. You dig? And then men start running with it. Here's another one. William N. Branham. He lived during the 1900s. Let's see if this George Bush looking heathen. All right, right here. All right. William Mario Branham. All right, and they go into World War II. That's around the time he was preaching. From 1909 to December 1965 is when he was living, and he died. So-called charismatic movement, deliverance ministry, but he's a proponent of the same thing. Same exact thing. All right, let's go back. All these heathens, man. The origin of this in the Americas got everything to do with white supremacy. You understand? And heathens who could care less about us because in the end, that's what they was aiming at. They was aiming to say, you niggas are the sons of the devil. Or the sons of Cain. And you make Cain the son of the devil by saying, look at him, he murdered his brother. So he must be the son of the devil. You see? We're going to get into it, though.
Beautiful understanding.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into it, man. It ain't, as long as we willing to humble ourselves down, you feel me, and read it for what it is, man. Stop being scared. Okay? Stop being scared, man. The truth going to stand supreme. Right? So that doctrine is very dangerous because it prescribes to Satan the creative power. Like he can create. You understand? Like he can create man. And if that's the case, why they create artificial intelligence, which is clearly something that was spawned by the enemy. All right? And go ahead, bro. I know you want to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say something very quickly and let my brother keep going because he's doing his thing, bro. You feel me? I'm just catching the little tidbits, which I'm learning. So know whenever you read the scripture, you feel me, for yourself, or when you get down with us and we read as a body, as a church, you should always be able to read the scripture and get more understanding of what you have read maybe 5 times, because Yahweh word is built like that, so you will never get full. You'll never get full. You're always going to thirst for more and more. You're going to get full, but understand what I mean by you never get full. You feel me? Because you're always going to thirst for more and more. It's always more to learn, always more to eat.
Yeah, God.
You feel me? So it's more understanding. So my point being, and I said all that to say this, shout out to Yak Ellie. But I said all that to say this, you feel me? If you can put a 7 up there, you should be able to go to whoever taught you that doctrine and ask them these hard questions. You taught me this. Did you know all this information? And can you show me outside of your swift talking some type of proof, hardcore fact that I can believe outside of your swift talking? And I can say that why you taught me that. Why you taught me that. For fruit, same way like in the garden, when Eve shouldn't have took that fruit, which is understanding, simple ones. Understanding why you taught me that understanding gave me that bad fruit. Like Satan. I'm going to be honest. Satan gave Eve bad fruit. You gave bad fruit. Whoever you are, you gave bad fruit and we ate of it. So go holler at them. Ask them, why did you teach me that? And bring up all your evidence and facts and make them, because the burden of proof is not upon you, it's upon them. They should be proven. You said that that's his seed, will show that.
Right. It should be as simple as you going through the scriptures. You understand? And that's all we're doing. We're just going through the scriptures and we're going through some history and showing you what it is, right? Notable proponents of the serpent seed doctrine have included Daniel Parker, William Branham, Arnold Murray. This belief is also held by some adherents of the white supremacist theology known as Christian identity, who claim that the Jews are descended from the serpent. They also claim we are. You see? So again, our main enemies teach this. We should no way, shape, form, or fashion even come close to teaching it. And I feel y'all, boy, that one heathen do look like a Neanderthal, don't he, boy? Daniel Parker. This heathen looks like a Neanderthal. You feel me? And how ironic somebody that looked like an animal was teaching that certain groups of people, you feel me, are the sons of the devil. He looked like an animal. Look at that. That's why we got to be careful where we getting this stuff from, man. We got to be real careful. Let's do 1 John 3. 1 John chapter 3 real quick. We got a few more scriptures. I'm glad y'all get some understanding, man. All praise and glory down to the Most High, on the creator and possessor of all things. This right here.
Regular John.
Yeah, 1 John. Letter John. 1 John chapter 3. We're going to read 1 through 15. And this is about either being a son of the Most High or the son of the devil. What does it mean scripturally to be a son of the devil?
Loaded.
All right, 1 John chapter 3, verse 1.
1 John chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Yah.
That we should be called who?
The sons of Yah.
That we should be called the sons of the Most High. This love he done bestowed upon us. Come on, Op.
Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not.
Come on.
Beloved, now are we the sons of Yah, and it does not yet appear what we shall be.
It does not appear what we shall be, because the world ain't ready for these Israeli supermen. You understand? They're not ready for your rightful birthright and place you about to take in this earth, man. That's why they're trying to turn it up and go harder and harder. You feel me? Now is the time to tap in, pray more, meditate more, you understand, and really tap into your power, because these heathens are turning it up. It don't appear yet what we shall be, but the day is coming when everybody is going to honor the Most High's chosen. You feel me? You'll get put down. It don't appear yet what we shall be. Come on, Op.
But we, but we, but we know that. Did you hear me? But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. For we shall see him as he is.
We know that, look, when he appear, we're going to be like him. And you know the Messiah in glorious, all authority. We're going to be just like him. When we see him, we're going to be just like him. You feel me? That's that power and glory that the powers that be are afraid of. That's why they don't want you walking. It's two of y'all walking together, the police pulling you over. It's a problem. Feel me? Because deep down in even our enemy subconscious, they know there's a reckoning coming. It don't appear yet what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. All right, verse 3.
Verse 3. And every man that has this hope in him purifies himself. Woo!
If you got that hope in you, you purify yourself. If you believe and know that when the Messiah appears, we're going to be just like him. If you got that hope in you, you're purified. Purify himself. Go ahead.
Even as he is pure.
Come on.
Whosoever committeth sin transgress also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
That's facts. So anybody telling you you ain't got to keep the law of the Most High is a liar. They're teaching you to sin. Sin is the transgressions of the law of the Most High Yahweh. Come on now.
And ye know that he was manifested.
Who was manifested? Who was revealed? The Messiah, right? And ye know that he was manifested or revealed. Come on.
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins. And in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not.
Whosoever abideth in the Son of the Most High, you dwell in him, you sin not. Right? That's right there in the scripture. I know a lot of us gonna be ducking, but the standard has been raised. The bar has been raised. Yeah. The Messiah actually raised the bar. Challenge yourself to be righteous. Because if you abide in him, the fact is you don't sin. Come on.
Whosoever sinneth have not seen him.
Wow.
Neither know him.
So whenever you operating in your fleshly carnal mind, guess what you doing? Huh? You don't know the Most High. You don't know his son. You ain't seen him. Whenever you allow your carnal mind to override what it is that you know you're supposed to be doing, guess whose son you are? Let's keep reading.
Verse 7. Little children, let no man deceive you.
Let nobody deceive you. The Bible is replete. It constantly lets us know, watch out for the deception. Watch out. They coming with the head fake. Watch out. Right? Let no man deceive you. Come on.
He that does righteousness is righteous.
Come on.
Even as he is righteous.
So when you operate in the fruits of the Spirit, when you're doing righteousness, guess what? Right? You're righteous, even as the Most High, who's inspired you to be right, is righteous. Right? Verse 8.
He that committeth sin is of the devil.
Do y'all hear that? He that committeth sin is of or from the devil. Right? Do that mean the devil had sex with your mama? Do that mean the devil had sex with Eve? No. If you are doing the bidding of the devil, you his seed. Because you're doing what he commands you to do. Huh? Hold that. Give me Romans 6 real quick. I'll give y'all another example. Romans 6, 14 through 16. 15 through 16. Romans 6, 15 through 16. Watch this.
Load it.
Yeah, that right there say, he that committeth sin is of the devil. Cain murdered Abel. Did he commit sin? Yeah. Well, he's of the devil. See, it's that simple. See, a lot of our people that taught that doctrine back then, they'll go to 1 John 3 and 12. They go to 1 John 3 and 12. They won't start back up in verse 8 and say, he that committeth sin is of the devil. Huh? If you are violating the commands of the Most High, you are a child of the devil. That hurt, don't it? that hurt. You dig? And the devil ain't have to shape shift and have sex with your mama. He ain't have to shape shift and have sex with Eve to have children out here. Didn't it say the devil entered into Judas Iscariot? Judas was a son of the devil. Huh? And the devil did not have sex with his mama. Go ahead, Doc. You got something you want to say? Go ahead.
Just to, you know what I'm saying, to ride that wave of what my brother's saying. If you had a child right now and you knew some people like we just reading, these old nigger killers, Negro killers, Afro-American killers, Israelite killers, huh? Basically see the KKK finna come at your door. KKK finna come at your door or whatnot, and your child is in the house. If you love your child, you gonna leave him in the house? Or you finna go and get your child and take him with you? I'm just saying. So if the Most High love us, his children, is he gonna leave us? No. But the ones of Satan, yes, you're left with your father.
Notice what it says.
Because you are sons
of your father.
Huh?
Messiah gonna get into it. And we read John the 8th chapter. What was he telling the Pharisees? Yeah. What was he telling the Pharisees? You are of your father, the devil. Right? Was he saying that the devil had sex with all their mamas? Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. You feel me? That ain't what it is. Whenever you violate the commands of the Most High, guess what you are? You a son of the devil. You a son of Satan. Let's read it again. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. Trip off this. For this purpose, the Son of Yahweh was manifested or revealed, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Do y'all see that? Whosoever is born of Yahweh, or whosoever is the son or the seed of Yah, doth not commit sin. For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of the Most High. In this, the children of the Most High are revealed, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of the Most High, neither he that loveth not his brother. For this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. That's what we pushing. That's the vibration we pushing out in this hour. You understand? Right? Moving toward each other and dialoguing and rapping, because there's a lot of stuff we got to do. There's a lot of things we need to take care of. You understand? Worst times in the annals of world history are upon us. There's a lot of things we need to do. You need to holler at your people. Your people are resourceful. It's time for us to love each other. All right. They said, for this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. 12. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one and slew his brother. Now, when the doctrine got taught in times past, brothers would also always go to verse 12. It says, see, not of Cain, who was of that wicked one. And he slew his brother, but brothers never went back to verse 8, man. Right? We pride ourselves on start back up.
Yeah.
Feel me? He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. Right? If you are sinning against the Most High, that make you his son. That make you the devil's son, period. Right? Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one. What you mean he was of that wicked one? Because he murdered his brother. He committed sin. You understand? Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. He got jealous because the Most High accepted his brother's offering and not his. You feel me? And as we read earlier, it was spoiled fruit. It was inferior fruit. True about this 13. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. And ye know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him. Do y'all hear that?
Beautiful.
And there's a lot of brothers and elders in this late hour running around in the spirit of Cain, spewing hatred. You understand? And the scripture just said, man, if you hate your brother, you are a murderer and you don't even have eternal life. You see? We so busy pushing something like, okay, well, dang, you know, that's Cain's father. See, Cain's father was the devil. It was Satan biologically. But when we start adding these things up, and even when we bring the timeline into play, silence. Silence. You just reduce to, well, why she got pain during childbirth? Why is there a such thing as a wet dream? Huh? Why is there a such thing as a wet dream? I mean, that physically didn't happen. That was all going on inside your mind, right? In the spiritual realm, inside of your mind, right? You was laying with some type of beautiful model or whatever, and you woke up and it had physical effects, didn't it? Then you have to go wash yourself and throw your drawers away. So that's one example on something that happens in the spiritual realm that affects the physical. You see? And not just physical like your arm. I'm talking about your physical reproductive member. You see? And that's just one example of something that happens in the spirit. They got incubus. They got succubus. Right? Those are demons that be on men and women doing sexual intercourse while they sleep. So what you mean just because something happened in the spiritual and it affected them physically? Like why she got pain during childbirth? All right? Well, why do you got to wash yourself after you have a wet dream? Huh? Why is there an incubus and a succubus, which are demons that lay with men and women doing intercourse while they sleep? Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Doc. You got something?
Yeah, and no doubt dialogue and correct me if I'm wrong, Maccabee. But we read right here, whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin. So whoever commits sin is of the devil. So when the scriptures say he that is in Christ sin not, he sin not, so that he is of the Father. Then he that sin is of the devil. Yeah. So you have to not be so simple to not understand. You need to understand what they're saying because it's one deity telling a story. Because he's saying the same thing. He said the same thing. If you commit sin, you're of Satan. If you're of me, you don't sin. But we both know, and we all know, you feel me? There is no man that walks this earth that has sinned not. So what is he saying?
Help me out. John chapter, let's get to John chapter 8, 32 through 45. Whenever you got a breach in spirit, whenever you got an override or a short circuit, and your carnal flesh, right? That wicked temptation override what you're supposed to be doing in the spirit. Guess what? At that very moment, you a child of the devil.
Boy,
that's what that is.
That's where we at with it.
At that very moment, you a child of the devil. Whenever you operating in the spirit and moving in the fruits of the spirit, guess what? You operate in the spirit of righteousness, and guess who your Father is? The Most High.
And you covered.
Yeah. That's why we have to challenge ourselves to maintain that righteous vibration.
And this is the script that I want to bring that sews all this together. For my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready. You don't want to get caught in that Ezekiel 33, bro. That's not what you want to get caught in when the scriptures say, hey, for you have been warned, but all your righteousness shall not be remembered, but for your iniquity that he commits, he shall die for it, bro. We have to know and understand the scripture. The scriptures is very clear, but then again, it can be complex. You feel me? It's for you. It ain't for them. You feel me? That's why you need the Holy Ruach that teaches us all things that some people were trying to throw out and downplay him. You feel me? But you need him. You need him. You feel me? To help you navigate through these scriptures so you can understand what the scriptures are saying, because it's for you and not for them, because they don't have no will to serve Yahweh. You feel me? There's a difference.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, right here, John chapter 8. John chapter 8, 32 through 45. John chapter 8, 32 through 45. We got the book of Jude, Enoch, the seventh from Adam, and that's where we really gonna kill it at right there. All right.
John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Exactly. So if it's a lie, you feel me? We gotta wage war against the lie until that stronghold get took down, man. The truth actually liberates you and sets you free. All right, to where you ain't gotta be held in bondage to defend a belief that really ain't got no type of backing to it. Right? That's the worst feeling in the world, to have to defend something you know is false. Just because everybody looking at you. Yeah. And you been known it's false, boy. You know that look in the mirror, you looking at yourself like, boy, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of that one. I don't know how I'm gonna defend it. It's false. You know what I'm saying? But because I got camaraderie and I got love for men, the scripture tell you, man, that great men are not always wise. You feel me? Great men are not always wise. And that include brothers you may have came up with in the truth. You feel me? They're men when you're done talking. And men are fallible, not infallible. You feel me? You don't never want that pride to set in to where you are forced to defend a lie because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want to be in that position because at that point you're compromised. Straight up. All right, watch this. What else to say?
Verse 33. They answer him, we be Abraham's seed. And were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free?
Look, so these are Pharisees bragging. We Abraham's seed. What you mean? But the Messiah was letting it be known that, look, y'all in bondage to your flesh. You in bondage to the devil, which is your carnal mind, the devil, flesh, right? How are we ever going to conquer a kingdom when we can't conquer self? You did? Or that low vibration, or that works of the flesh, or that wicked temptation that comes. Every time it comes, you are defeated. You don't never, there's no victories. How many times you got to get whooped on before you know, look, he going to come with that right hook. You feel me? You going to swing back, he going to weave, he going to catch you with that straight kick. You know what he going to do. He do the same thing every time he catch you slipping. When you going to man up and defeat him? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? Verse 34.
Verse 34. It said, Yahweh shall answer them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin is a servant of sin.
That's what it is. We just read it in 1 John, where it told you flat out, if you commit sin, you are of the devil. Christ, or the Messiah, Yahweh shall saying right here, if you commit sin, guess who you a slave to? Sin, law breaking. Right? Go ahead, Hebrew.
And the servant abideth not in the house forever.
Yeah, slave don't be in the big house forever. He may get to come in there once in a while. A servant or a slave don't get to stay in the big house. You got the outhouse. Go ahead, Hebrew.
But the Son abides forever.
That's right.
If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed.
Hallelujah.
I know that ye are of Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me because my words have no place in you.
Yeah.
I speak that which I have seen with my Father.
With my Father. Go ahead.
And ye do that which ye have seen with your Father.
So he clearly is making a distinction between who he served and who the Pharisees and them served. Even though they were outwardly, you know, they kept all the little traditions and all that outwardly, but in the mind, they were servants of the devil. They were servants of sin, which made them sons and daughters of who? The devil. We just read in 1 John, the 3rd chapter. This is why Cain was of the wicked one. You feel me? Because guess what he did? He murdered his brother. That's why anytime you violate the commandments of the Most High, guess what you are considered in the eyes of the Most High? A son of Satan. That should make everybody hold themselves to a high standard. Because I don't never want to be considered a son of the devil. Ever. Challenge yourself, right? Go ahead, Hebrew.
Verse 39.
Yeah.
They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yahweh shall said unto them.
I speak that way.
Oh, you want verse 38? My bad. I'll skip the verse. Verse 38. I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your Father.
Facts, 39.
39. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yahweh shall said unto them, if ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the work of Abraham.
Yeah, now do y'all see that? If you were Abraham's seed, and Abraham was considered a friend of the Most High. It say in the book of Jubilees, it's engraved on the heavenly records. Abraham, the Most High partner. Yahweh Shah just said, if you were Abraham's children or seed, you would do what? The works of Abraham. If you were the children or seed of the Most High, guess who works you'll be doing? The works of the Most High. There's a flip side to this too. There's a flip side to it too. If you are the seed or the child of Satan, guess what you're doing? The works of Satan. You feel me? You violating the Most High command. That's what it means by Cain, who was of the wicked one. Not that because the serpent, you feel me, impregnated Eve in the garden. You feel me? Then Eve came back and laid with Adam in the garden. And now she's mysteriously pregnant with twins, and you call it superfetation. And then we get Genesis 4:1, and we'll say, no, right there, it say right there that Adam knew Eve and she conceived Cain. Well, to think about it, A and D is DNA. If you ain't careful, that type of doctrine will creep up on you, and it has. All right? Go ahead, Hebrew.
Verse 39. They answered and said to him, read that.
All right, verse 40, yeah.
Verse 40. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that has told you the truth, which I have heard of Yah. This did not Abraham.
Come on.
Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one father, even Yah.
Now trip off that. Trip off, he keep letting you know the deeds that you do determine who your father is. The work that you do. Either it's righteous work or evil work. If it's evil work, your father is Satan. Huh? Or the devil. If it's righteous work, your father is the Most High Yahweh. Huh? Man, we don't be born of fornication. What you mean? We got one father. Our mama wasn't no hoe getting hit by two different men. Like being taught Eve got hit by two different men. Huh? They letting it be known. We got one father, even the Most High. Right? 42 with a slave.
Yahweh said unto them, if Yah were your father, ye would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from Yah. Neither came out of myself, but he sent me.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Why do ye not understand my speech? Because ye cannot hear my words. Ye are of your father, the devil.
Now, is the Messiah saying, if we hold this same thought process that's taught that the devil impregnated Eve, we would have to say that the Messiah is telling the Pharisees that the serpent had intercourse with all their mothers. Is that what we saying? Of course not. Then why is he saying you of your father, the devil? Is it because the devil is the biological father of the Pharisees? Or is it because they were doing the deeds of the devil? It's simple. You see, sometimes we make this thing harder than what it really is. It's simple, man.
He was talking in the spirit, man.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. He is a spiritual being talking of spiritual nature, speaking of spiritual things. You are a carnal being trying to understand spiritual thing from a spiritual being. So he is going to speak to you spiritual, and sometimes he has to speak to you fleshly so you can understand. He gives you parable, fruit, tree,
serpent, yeah.
Huh? Come on, let's not make this thing hard.
Yeah, real talk, man. Real talk. Because again, the only way somebody can make you believe that when you read the Bible is if they said something to you first. You cannot arrive at this understanding by just reading the scripture. It's just like with Joseph the father. We ask him all the time, well, show us Joseph begot Christ. What if somebody turn around and tell you, well, show me Satan begot Cain? Whew.
You ain't got it.
You ain't even got it. Guess what you got to do? You got to paint an elaborate picture and bounce all over the scriptures to try to convince somebody that this is the truth.
And that's how I be talking about. You be serious for it. That boy say elaborate.
Yeah,
elaborate maze.
Yeah. Now you a maze runner. Trying to find clues. You got to go on a scavenger hunt to prove this bull.
That boy say elaborate.
Yeah, an elaborate scheme. An elaborate picture can get you to believe something that ain't even in there.
Oh, man.
And you know, we still got loved ones that believe that. And look, it's just nothing personal. We strictly talking doctrine. Right? You feel me? It ain't nothing personal. I still got mad love for my brothers. And you feel me? In St. Louis, outside of St. Louis, whatever. Yeah, it ain't nothing personal.
Yeah. You
understand? The truth is the truth, though. You feel me? If somebody came at you with that Joshua, that Jubilees, that Josephus, you understand? And just basic scriptures right out the Bible, you gonna have a man. Look, it's impossible to prove it. And I haven't seen elders stand down like, oh, hold on, yeah, you know what? That might be right, man. Let's just play it safe and say that's his spiritual father. Yeah, that's what you better say. And trip off this. He's everybody's spiritual father that sins against the Most High. How about that? If you going against the Most High, guess who your daddy is? Ooh, that hurt right there, boy. Ooh, wait. All right, go ahead, Hebrew.
Beautiful. Verse 44. Ye are of your, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust with an S of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning.
Now, lust is desire. There's a desire that leads to action. Notice everywhere we see about this, we keep seeing the actions that you do. Your deeds that you do determine who your father is. All right, go ahead.
And abound not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speaketh of his own.
Yeah.
For he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not.
That's it for that. Let's go to Jude right here.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Brother I was cutting these cats.
Hey, and just in your regular walk, when you rap with somebody, come on, man. The trip off of how do they react to you? They buck up in you, call you the devil. They like you not of the Most High. What are we reading?
Yeah. Yeah, talk. The devil entered into Cain, meaning that wicked temptation, he succumbed to it. He said, "Bump it, I'm gonna act that out." You understand? Because of jealousy and envy, them works of the flesh that will lead to you sinning against the Most High, which means your daddy is who? Louis C. Fur, the devil. All right, Jude 1:14. Watch this.
Jude 1:14, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam.
The seventh from Adam, meaning we can't count Adam. From Adam. The seventh from Adam. Right? Back in the day, me and you should try to count Adam. No, you can't. It says from Adam. Adam didn't come from himself. All right, go ahead, Doc.
Prophesied of these, saying, behold, the Lord Yah cometh with 10,000 of his saints.
Now trip off this. Give me Genesis 4. Genesis 4, 25. Give me Genesis 4, 25 and 26. Watch this. Right, the seventh from Adam, right? Now, when we go to First Chronicles 1:1-3, as y'all see up on the board right there. All right, we're gonna count from Adam. All right. When you see that verse 3, when I say Enoch, that's Enoch. We just read in Jude that Enoch was the seventh from Adam. All right. What that say right there, Genesis 4, real quick. 25 and 26. No, 24 and 25.
Genesis chapter 4.
25 and 26.
Oh, good. Genesis chapter 4, verse 25.
Yeah.
And Adam knew his wife again. And she bare a son and called his name Seth.
Yeah.
For Yah said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
So Seth took the place of Abel. You see, Abel is the only one of Adam's sons who never had a chance to bring forth seed. So Seth, which actually means appointed, you understand, took the place of Abel. All right. So when we go to First Chronicles 1, right here on the board, and it says, and that Jude we read said the seventh from Adam. When we see Seth right here in First Chronicles 1, Seth replaced Abel. So we can't count Abel. Seth replaced him. Abel never had a chance to raise up seed. All right. So right here in First Chronicles 1, that's on this board right here. Look at that. What that say right there, Hebrew? This is the lineage of Adam. Go ahead,
forgive me. Let me read this verse again because I did chop it up, so I want to make sure it was clear.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 25 again. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For Yah, she said. That's why I didn't read that. For Yah, she said, have appointed me seed instead of Abel, who Cain slew.
Yeah, so when you look up instead, it means in place of. All right, that's important to know. When we read Jude 1:14, it said Enoch was the seventh from Adam. From Adam. Now we got First Chronicles 1:1-3, right? Let's examine his lineage. Let's see. All right, First Chronicles 1:1-3. It says Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahaliel, Jared, Enoch. Enoch is Enoch. His father was Jared, right? But if you count from Adam, you got Sheth, which is 1, Enosh, which is 2, Kenan, which is 3, Mahalalel, which is 4, Jared, which is 5, you got Enoch, which is 6. You're like, well, hold on. I thought Enoch was the 7th from Adam, like it said in the book of Jude. Well, we know Seth replaced Abel, so we can't put Abel in there. What other son does that came out of Adam? Cain. In order for Enoch to be the 7th from Adam, you got to put Cain in there.
You gotta put Cain in there.
You can't, because you wouldn't put Abel, because Seth was put instead or in place of Abel. You see? In order for Enoch to be the 7th from Adam, like we just read in the book of Jude, Adam had another son. He was evil. You understand? He was evil. But when you done talking, the 7th from Adam, you would have to put Cain in there. You feel me? And the only reason Cain ain't mentioned right here because that's not the line that the chosen went through. It went through Seth. Then Seth had a son named Enoch, then Canaan, then Mahalalel. But never forget Seth, whose name means instead of or in place of, right? He was put in place of Abel, who never had seed, right? There's only that, so you got to add Cain in there for Enoch to be the 7th from Adam. You see? The 7th from Adam. And Adam don't come from himself. So you can't count Adam as one. You got it. Go ahead.
And so we can make sure we establish the Bible focus on the blessing line all the way throughout the script. It don't focus on Esau because it would begin to tell all the different things about Esau, but it focuses on Israel, which is you.
No doubt. And that's an excellent point. That was powerful what you just said. That's why right here it's dealing with the chosen line going all the way down. Cain's descendants actually died out with the flood. You know what I'm saying? So again, 7th from Adam, where you would have to put Cain in there. Some say, well, but Abel. No, Seth was put instead or in place of Abel. Abel never had a chance to raise up seed. 7th from Adam, you're going to have to put Cain in there. You know what I'm saying? And that will make Enoch the 7th from Adam. You did. So all praise and glory now to the Most High, the owner, creator, and possessor of all things. We pray that what we brought forth today was a blessing and a help. You know what I'm saying? And again, we went through Jubilees. Excellent point. I don't need chips, son. That's what you need your brothers for, right? Yeah. But again, we went through Jubilees. We went through Jasher. We went through the scripture, Genesis chapter 4, Genesis chapter 3, Jubilees, and then even when the brother was asking for the when he's asking for the timeline, I'm like, that he just set himself up for the kill. We don't even know. That's exactly what we about to do. And also to prove that Jubilees is solid because it matched up with Genesis 5 and 3, which said Adam was 130 years old when Seth was born. That Jubilee said the same exact thing. So now we know the parentheses. When you read in the book of Jubilees, when you see the time inside the parentheses, 64 through 70 AM, you know that's from the creation of Adam, right? Because he was 130 years old when Seth was born. It said in Genesis, the 5th chapter, as well as Jubilees, it was 1:30 AM, which means from the creation of Adam. Ooh-wee. 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 So again, Jubilees, Jasher, Josephus, Genesis chapter 3, Genesis chapter 4. We even went in the 1 John, the 3rd chapter, and showed that you are son of the devil when you're breaking the commands and laws of the Most High. That's what makes you a son of the devil. Not because he has sex with your mama. You understand? We got to stop that. We also showed that the main proponents of that doctrine here in our bondage, you understand, are those of the white supremacist ideology. You feel me? Because they actually teach that we and the so-called Jews are actually sons of Cain by way of Satan. So even your enemies teach that. And one of the earliest proponents of it here in America looked like a yeti. It was like an animal. You understand? Like a yeti. Like what is that? I jumped back off the computer. What the hell? This heathen here teaches this? Oh no. It's a heathen doctrine, man. You feel me? And on the low, you're not realizing that you actually subscribing to the enemy that he actually can make an image of the Most High power. You understand? That he can make man in his image. You see? And that ain't the truth. If that's the case, there will be no need for artificial intelligence, because that's what that's all about, this artificial intelligence. You feel me? It's about syncing man with androids. You feel me? It's about jacking up the image of the Most High God. You feel me? That's what that's about.
Heathens.
You feel me? So you may have heard that doctrine before, like the fruit that they partook of was the fruit of Satan's loins. You feel me? But that leaves so much into play. You saying that Adam would have to be a sodomite then. Like if the fruit that she partook of made her pregnant with Cain, that the serpent gave her, that made her pregnant with Cain, and then she took this same fruit and gave to her husband, and he partook of that. Man, do y'all see what that's saying?
Yeah, man.
That sound like, you know, either some type of, they didn't ran a train on Eve, or being that fruit is the fruit of Satan's loins, that sound like Adam may have been on some sodomite type, right? And again, just ask them flat out, are you saying that she conceived in the garden? You know what I'm saying? Point at him. Like, is that what you saying? They're gonna be like, dang, sit up, swallow, start scratching. No, I ain't saying that. You better not be saying that. Because every account showed that she conceived after the garden. You feel me? And, oh man, then we put the time on it. What you talking about? What it say? Well, you talking about 50 plus years that Eve would have had to been pregnant with Satan's seed. Huh? 56 years. She would have been pregnant with Satan's seed for Cain to be the biological son of the devil. Or is it we just not recognizing what the scripture is saying, and that anybody that worketh evil or worketh wickedness, they are the son of the devil? Give me Romans 6 real quick and we'll close on out. Romans 6, 15 and 16. I used to do 16. Romans 6 and 16. Easy work, man. Easy work. If you are violating the commandments of the Most High, that make you a son of the devil. You know what I'm saying? A child of Satan. Romans
6 and 16.
I know a few probably mad. Like, hold on, man. I thought that. You feel me? There's all type of stuff, man. You feel me? And you got to make sure your stuff is airtight. All right, what it say?
Romans 6, verse 16.
Yeah.
Know ye not
that
to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey.
Y'all heard that? To whom you yield yourself servants to obey. Huh? Whoever you are, instructions you are keeping. Go ahead.
His servants ye are to whom ye obey.
Whoever you obey, that's your daddy. Huh? That's your master. Whomever you obey. All right, go ahead.
Whether of sin unto death.
Sin unto death. Well, we know that the sin and all they got to do, that's synonymous with the devil. But the sin unto death, law breaking unto death. Go ahead.
Or of obedience unto righteousness.
You feel me? Or obedience unto righteousness, fruit of the spirit. Better it is to obey than the sacrifice. I need John 6.
Let's keep it.
John 6.
Regular John?
Yeah, regular John. John 6. I believe it's 70 and 71. I think it is. You understand? It's real easy, man. You dig? And it's time to let whatever go. And even if you don't drop it tonight, we willing to wage war against it until you drop it. You feel me? But you have to debunk everything that just was brought out. You ain't gonna be able to make a statement and then run over in the corner and hold on to one question, but you ain't got nothing for everything we just brought out. Nothing. Can you debunk the what we brought off on Wikipedia and the people, the earlier proponents of this? Can you debunk that? Can you debunk the Jasher, the Jubilee? Can you debunk the Genesis 4, the Genesis 3? Can you debunk any of it? You know what I'm saying? Even Josephus was letting it be known that Cain's father is Adam. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. How do you hold on to it? How do you say, well, that's superfetation? Then we go read the definition of superfetation. It ain't got nothing to do with twinning. It ain't got nothing to do with twinning. You see? Because Cain and Abel weren't twins anyway. Me and Giddy was rapping about that the other day. They got you thinking that even in the rap world. You remember them No Limit rappers? Yeah. Cain and Abel?
Cain and Abel.
They were twins. Cain and Abel were twins. used to rap with Master P in them back in the day.
Yeah.
You see, that spirit been in the earth. People thinking that Cain and Abel were twins. Not the case. Not the case. All right. John 6. Yeah, John 6. You all over the 70. Yeah, John 6, but you over though.
I'm good.
70 and 71.
Correct you, brother.
It's all good, brother. That's what we here for. You did.
John 6, verse 70.
Good tea there, Bob.
All praise it. Yahweh shall answer them. Have not I chose you 12? And one of you is a devil.
Wow. Wow. One of his disciples is or was a devil. And did that mean that the devil had sex with his mama? No, the deeds that he was doing were of the devil. All right, go ahead.
He spake of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, for he it was that should betray him.
You see that? So he let it be known, like, look, one of you is a devil. 12. One of you is a devil. And he told the Pharisee, ye of your father the devil. Right? Not saying that the devil has sex with a mama or with Eve. You are of your father the devil when you work at the iniquity. You understand? When you're breaking the commandments of the almighty power. That's what makes you a son of the devil, man. You a son of God when you're working righteousness and abiding the Most High's grace by being obedient to him and following the flawless example of his beloved son. You feel me? So with that, I pray y'all got some understanding. My phone and died. I don't even know what the comments phone and died, but it's all good.
It's all good.
We're going to end with a psalm. We're going to end with a psalm. Psalm 149. Y'all get up y'all face Jerusalem and let's get her done, man. Let's get her done. All praise and glory now to the Most High, owner, creator, and possessor of all things. It's all good. Let me give you Psalm 149. Psalm 149 with the Most High's permission. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise ye Yahweh. Sing unto Yahweh a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. Let Yisrael rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation.
Yes, sir.
Let the saints be joyful in glory.
Yeah.
Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
Praise.
Let the high praises of Elohim be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand.
Yes, sir.
Execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. Woo. This honor, woo. This honor, woo. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye, Yahweh.
Hallelujah, Selah, Yahoo.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. All praise. All praise, glory, now the glorious war, man. Glorious war. Glorious war. Y'all willing we back on the more, man. You know what I'm saying? Torah class. Going over the Torah portion or whatever. Both at the barbershop chop shops back popping this Friday down at the new spot. Sabbath class coming up. I think the young gunner Aki got the Shabbat. So y'all continue to pray for us, man. Thank y'all for all y'all prayers, all y'all support. Shout out to the house of Yoel Ben Israel, the No Fly Zone, for allowing brothers to come over and chop it up. Shout out to my Ak Yakanan Eliezer. He probably over there hugging his pillow. Y'all pray for the Ak though. He said he wasn't feeling too good. And shout out to all y'all, man. You understand? Continue to pray for us as we continue to pray for y'all. And you know, y'all willing, we see each other face sooner than later. And if for any of you Shebrus out there that claim y'all can cook when we come through, we gonna have a taste of St. Louis. The St. Louis brethren gonna taste to see what you talking about, man. And if your food tastes like wood, we sure gonna tell you. But we gonna love you at the same time. It's all good. All right, so to the next time, y'all, forgive me, I can't see any comments. My phone died. I usually check the comments on my phone. But hit my email, honor and humility STL, the name of the channel. at gmail.com. If anybody mad, if anybody hating, we love you too. You feel me? Salute to the haters. Salute to all our supporters. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep this thing going and stay focused, man. It's a glorious war. You feel me? Wage a righteous war in the spirit. And y'all willing, we meet up on the battlefield together, man. Shout out to my brothers over in Ashkelon, Israel. I'll be rapping with them brothers several times a week. Brothers are starting to, you know, chop it up. We may be up in the, you know, the Holy Land for some of these feasts coming up sooner than you think. That's what we praying. That's what we getting on. Shout out to the Israelites at all four corners of the earth, man. You feel me? This that time. Y'all see what's happening. Government shutdowns. It's about to be a blood moon. They calling for a blood moon 3 months back to back. January, the end of January, February, and March. You feel me? Just 2019, you know, 400 years and a whole bunch of different things people are speaking on. You feel me? But we cannot deny the signs and things that are happening.
It's exciting times right now.
It's a beautiful time to be alive.
The lot fell on us right now to get this done.
That's right.
The lot fell on us right now, soldiers. You alive? You heard this? The lot fell on thou. The lot fell on Adam for that time. The lot fell on Isaiah for that time. But it's our time.
That's right.
Be a soldier, stand up, serve our God. That's like our examples were.
Right. Get in order, man. Order by any means necessary. Right. And if you claim the order of Melchizedec, you better be the most highly trained and disciplined soldier in this earth. All right. The order of Melchizedec is not an excuse to sin. You understand? The order of Melchizedek is not an excuse to get lazy and sloppy in your understanding and to get lackadaisical. You feel me? You're going to talk order. You feel me? You talking about the highest order in the earth, and it's a command and a mandate from the heavens. You better take that serious, because according to Hebrews, the 10th chapter, 27 through 28, there's a sore punishment coming under the Messiah, more sore than what Moses was putting down in the Torah with the judgments, man. All right. And if we sin willingly, there's no more sacrifice for sin. Hebrews 10 and 26. There's no more sacrifice for sin. No more sacrifice for sin for those of us that sin willingly. That's us. It's like, yeah, whatever, man. I don't care what that say. I'm gonna do what I do anyway. You feel me? And as we seen, the deeds, whatever you doing, proves who your father is. Yeah. If you are being evil, your father's the devil. You a son of the devil. If you being righteous, your father is Yod-Heh-Wah, the Most High. You understand? So, hey, strap it back up, long little Cain. We about to get up out of here. Love y'all indeed in the truth. Shalom.
Shalom, bye.